saying this with great respect. The Philadelphia Eagles are a team that just keeps giving and giving and giving. I mean, you could take one topic a day that people throw around all day in Philly, and it would go 10 hours, not just for the next 4 hours. Appreciate you pulling up here. Hit that like button. Super chats go to the top. Got the numbers in from the Super Bowl. A smidge down. You know why? Because of the two shitty teams. Seahawks, I told you, that's not a great football team. That's not a great team. Hey, that's a good-looking defense. No question. Defense travels. But to sit there and say that's a generational football team, it's not true. And the Patriots, well, they got a hall pass because of the Denver Broncos. I think it was 124.9 million people watched. 2% down from the Eagles and Chiefs from the year previous. Kendrick Lamar had a better halftime show too. He's still number one. I think Bad Bunny, I think that came in at 4. Okay? Right? So at least some good news from Schefter today on Lane Johnson returning for 26. Yes, I'm starting to buy it. I'm starting to believe it. Even with the new nobody coach, I'm starting to believe Lane Johnson will come back and be coached by a guy who had a shitty year last year with the Minnesota Vikings. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, finish up on the ratings. NFL's probably disappointed, down 2%. You were trying to shoot for about 130 million people. Didn't come in. Eagles had and Chiefs had the highest rated show. So, all good. Boy, I'll tell you something, man. Make sure you guys check out Birds 365 because my boy John McMullen has been on a heater lately with Golden Nuggets about this Philadelphia Eagle team. The other day, he's saying that the owner doesn't really like Hurts anymore. That's big sales spin. Thank you. And also, a little nugget today. We're going to start the show off here in a second, but Big Z will be with us at 3:30. Battle Royale never quits. That'll be at 4:30. And Adam Kaplan will tell us what happened with Jeff Stoutland and the Eagles. We will get an inside take on why Jeff Stoutland got up in the middle of the meeting with Nick Sirianni after he was told he was demoted and wouldn't be given back his run game opportunity. What happened? Adam Kaplan has it for you. That will be at 5:30. How you doing? All right. Hey, how you doing? Okay? Yes, sir, baby. Oh, by the way, congratulations. Looks like Lane Johnson's coming back. Proven wrong. What Lane Johnson are you getting back? What Lane Johnson do you think you're going to get back? All-Pro Lane Johnson or half-season Lane Johnson? I don't know. Okay? I'm not sitting here saying I don't know. Are you going to get in the tub, Johnson? Or are you going to get All-Pro Lane? Which Lane Johnson do you get back? Okay? Especially, this is probably his last year. What Lane Johnson will you get back? Will it be Lame Johnson or Lane Johnson? That's the key. So, John McMullen, I got to thank you. What a golden nugget this guy brought up today on Birds 365. He is hitting grand slams with some of these golden nuggets. This is why we have one of the best beat writers in town covering that football team. Kudos to John. So I happen to like Warren Sharp. I like the stuff that he says. I like the stuff that he posts. He's got no agenda at all. There's no agenda with Warren Sharp. So with all these changes, let me ask you something. We did this yesterday, and I'll add this little nugget. I'll add this nugget to the table here, all right? You ready? How many people believe that what they're going to do this year will be a big change or a small change? By the way, we're going to go over the draft. My sandbox dudes, we are almost 1,000% on people we look at in the upcoming drafts over the last 5 years. Grand slams on people we think will be my sandbox guys, about 5 or 6 dudes. My top 10 best players and the guys I think the Eagles should target. So we'll look at those here, upcoming here in a minute, okay? Still doing Battle Royale, 4:30, my friends. Hit that like button. All right. How many huge changes? Is it going to be a huge change? Or is it going to be a small change? On what level? 5, 10, 7? I like Johnson, but if we see the same level of play by him, I'll be shocked. I agree. I don't think you're probably going to get about 75% of Lane Johnson, okay, is better than almost 90% of the league. So if you get that guy, if you get that dude playing at that level, dude, you're going to have yourself a Pro Bowl type player. 75% of him, like I said, is better than almost 90% of the league. Okay? So intern Sirianni, you think 7. Okay? I hope Warren is an Eagles radar. Okay? I hope he's on the Eagle radar. We gotta draft Lane's replacement. Okay? Here we go. Massive changes on offense. Time to pay the rent. Like it. 7.25. This guy's breaking it down even crazy here. New video of Lane. He's back putting the work in. Looks like he slimmed down because of the foot. Okay? That could be great. All right, so here. I took a look at this number here, and I added one other caveat. You're not changing, man. Let's go here. So look at these numbers. Warren Sharp put out there under center dropbacks. And this is what they're going to try to do this year is under center. The Philadelphia Eagles were one of the worst teams in the league under center. And as for all the playoff teams, the Eagles were worse than Carolina with their quarterback under center. And if you're going to run a spread West Coast offense, you don't do it from freaking shotgun. Nobody runs a West Coast offense from shotgun unless you have an elite arm. They're the 30th worst football team in the league in quarterback dropbacks. Where are you going West Coast? Once again, another nugget that doesn't make sense in these changes. The only way this makes sense is if you're changing the quarterback. This makes no sense. Sills, they're saying, should we trust AJ? The real question, should we trust the organization? With the new spread offense, are they pushing Hurts out? Here, Mr. Hill. Nobody, unless you have an elite arm, goes from shotgun. Nobody. Are they inventing a new offense? I mean, here, look at these numbers here. This is correct. The team that had the most, and by the way, look at this. Look at the West Coast offenses. Rams, Seahawks, 49ers. They were 3 of the top 5 teams. Patriots, spread offense. Green Bay, spread offense. Jacksonville, spread offense. All the teams that were under center were teams that had quarterbacks that played under center. How are you going to run a West Coast offense when your quarterback can't do it? He had 50 snaps under center this year. How many snaps did the Eagles have this year total? How many attempts did Hurts have this year as a quarterback? What was it? Did he have 500 snaps? Let's see here. How many snaps? Listen, I'm not ripping any. I'm asking you, okay? My question again is, I don't know what, okay, he had 454 snaps. So 50 of those 454, 50 of those 454 were under center. This guy can't play under center. Dude, look at this dickhead. This ain't college, douchebag. This is National Football League. Okay? 454. Like I said, I don't know what they're doing. Jalen is smart. What's that got to do with skill set? You can run a West Coast offense with Jalen. He's not really good at reading defenses when they're in action. West Coast, the read goes before the snap. That's right. Pre-snap reads. Correct. You're dead on. All the thing, dude, like I said, now look, I have to wait here on February 11th because I have to figure out what style, how are they going to West Coast this? I'm truly not getting what they're doing here. And again, get this, you know what I could say? You hired people that barely have been coaches. I have no idea what they're doing. All the things they want to do don't add up. When Vic leaves, will it affect our stars on defense like Kuper and Q? They're prepared to play a unique style since their rookie year. Of course it'll matter. Sills, you think the Eagles struggle due to Stout not willing to help his guys transition for the offense? Hey, by the way, my friends, Stout not willing to coach with guys who are with no experience? We're going to find out from Adam Kaplan later on. Okay? We're going to find out. Okay, I mean, there's no doubt. Look at this guy here. Daniel Jones is a better fucking quarterback from the pocket than Hurts is. Bro, you're not very smart. Last comment for you for the rest of the day. You can go play with AJ or LJ or whatever the guy's name is. I meant Stout not willing to help the coach the run game under center. They're just winging it on the fly. Okay? Like I said, I want to read this one last time to you here. Okay? And you just tell me. Hear me? TREAN of a West Coast. Be trading the one. Okay. This was sent to me by Mike Martz. I asked Martz about Jalen Hurts and being a West Coast quarterback. And Mike Martz sent me back this email. Sills, this year's draft, I could see it like 24 in reverse. The defensive guys go early, pushing the offensive guys down the board. You don't have the quarterbacks, though, in this draft coming up. You just don't, okay? Okay, folks, Mike Martz sent this to me about Jalen Hurts. A quarterback tailored for West Coast offense, WCO is what they call it, is characterized by high football intelligence. I believe Jalen's got high in football intelligence. Elite precision on short to intermediate routes. He has none of that. and an ability to operate precise timing and rhythm. He has none of that. Dan, unlike systems that rely on vertical passing, the WCL quarterback acts like a point guard. He's like Steph Curry on the field. Okay? Dan, using short, accurate passes to replace the run game and manage the clock. Do you understand? This is what Brady did. When you have a quarterback and your run game is struggling, you go to intermediate passing and short passing game. Hurts does none of that shit. He's none of that. Dan, football IQ and decision-making. WCL quarterbacks must quickly read defenses. He does none of this. And is under center. Accuracy and anticipation. They must be able to throw with anticipation. He's never done this. Again, it's not really a rip on Jalen. We know this shit already. It's a rip on the coaching. Yeah, Jason, it's more on the coaching I'm going after, not going after Jalen. We know this shit. Okay? You and I, we all know this. We understand that. Okay? That's not what I'm doing here. Elite footwork. The WCL quarterback, Dan, is entirely reliant on the quarterback's drop back. He has to be in sync. Get this. This is what Mike Martz said in this email. The quarterback's drops, when he drops, is in sequence with the route and where he's going pre-snap. So when he's dropping back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the ball's out. You don't sit there like Hurts patting the ball. He goes, that's what happened to Wentz in the end. Wentz had the feet and had the footwork. He got back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out. Wentz, pat, sack, fumble. He says the biggest mistake that a WCL quarterback makes is holding the ball. Holding it too long. Okay? Here's other things Mike Martz said. I'm going to get Mike Martz on. Dink and dunk precision. This is what made Brady, Brady. Exceptional ability to throw short to intermediate passes. Dan, it allows receivers to gain yards and yak when you have a short passing game. Like a guy like AJ should benefit from this. But again, Hurts does not do. Guys, let's go back for a second. Because I know this conversation is very difficult for some of you. So let me ask you this. You see this guy here? Okay. Let's answer the questions together then. This is from Mike Martz, a Super Bowl OC and a coach who took a team to a Super Bowl. So let's ask the question here. Okay? All right. Dan, quarterbacks tailored to the West Coast offense, WCO, is characterized with elite precision on short to intermediate passing routes. Does Jalen do that? Yes or no? And this is all from under center. Yes or no? Does he do that? I'll go down the list here. Elite precision on short to intermediate routes and the ability to operate precision, timing, and rhythm. Does Jalen Hurts do that? Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on, Johnny boy. Does he do it? Yes or no? Does he? Occasionally, not often. So that's just the first line that Mike Martz sent me. Does he? Okay. No, he does not. Okay, here's the next one. Whatever, guy. Okay. WCO quarterbacks, Dan, must quickly read defenses and understand coverages to find the open receiver in a complex, often tough system to read. Does Hurts do that? Yes or no? Dude, don't be so butthurt. This is not about Hurts. This is about what they're fucking trying to install on your offense. Once again, stop being a Jalenite and stop your crying. Okay? WCO quarterbacks, Dan, must quickly read defenses and understand coverages to find the wide open receiver in a complex and tough defense to read. Does he do any of that? Does he read defenses? I say no. Okay, so there's 2 down. This is all under center. Okay? Again, this is not about Jalen. It's about what they're attempting to do with Jalen. I see why you're confused now, Seals. You don't think the quarterback can do it, and that's okay. However, 1,000% disagree. Hold on here. Marshall, why don't you enhance the quarterback's skill? I'm not ripping Jalen here. I'm ripping the coaches in their direction. People are getting butthurt in here, as I thought you would, because you think this is an indictment on him. You can't indict Hurts. Why? 2 Super Bowl appearances, a win, and an MVP. How the fuck can you indict that? You can't. I'm indicting the coaches. Okay? I'm indicting them. Marsh, you're getting it wrong. You think I'm picking on Hurts here? I'm not picking on Hurts. I'm not. You're getting it. You're wrong. As a matter of fact, they're going away from everything that kid does so much that he'll leave here. Okay? He'll leave here, go somewhere else. Someone will put that offense back together for him, and he'll star somewhere else. My point is, why are you getting further away from 22? You're getting further away with the under center. They only went 50 times. Now you're going to go majority of the time under center. Why? He doesn't like that. Hurts is a classic WCO. Are you yeah, well, that guy's just making that up because so far he doesn't have any of the characteristics as one. Let's continue on what I'm going to get Mike Martz on. Okay? Here's another. Okay, so elite precision and short to intermediate routes. He doesn't do that. He must read quickly defenses and understand coverages. He doesn't do that. He must be able to throw, Dan, with anticipation and pressing spots and allowing receivers to break with anticipation throws. He doesn't do that. These coaches, I'm not getting it. And here, Marsh, here's the other one. Pocket presence. Dan, the WCO quarterback, exceptional ability to throw short to intermediate passes that allow receivers to gain yards after the catch. That's yak. Pocket presence. Dan, well, not always required to be mobile. They must possess the discipline to sit in the pocket, go through progressions, and avoid taking unnecessary risk. Does Jalen do any of that? No. Anytime he feels pressure, he leaves the pocket. What I'm trying to show you here, I'm not going on. What they're doing is they're building an offense to this guy's flaws in his game. Here, Sam Darnold has massive flaws in his game. What's the biggest flaw that he has in his game? Sam Darnold. You know what it is? If you give him internal pressure and you pressure him up the middle, he'll get to a point where, again, he'll make the shitty throw. He'll make the bad throw. What's the one thing that New England couldn't do? They couldn't get him and couldn't get the ball. They couldn't get to him and they couldn't get him to make shitty throws. They tried baiting him. Okay? Sills, Hurts' numbers in 24, 0 to 9, 87%. Yeah, but where were they? They weren't in the middle of the field. They were on the numbers and predictable. Okay, you think they've never had a short passing game like a screen check down game. Here, look at this. Just stop, Sills. You and guys like Mike Martz know squat, but you know more. I won't even continue to read. The front office knows this is a way to trade Hurts in 27. If we sign McKee, dude, McKee's not the answer. I don't know that yet. Jalen is great at creating. The West Coast scheme is totally opposite. Absolutely agree. Sills, I'm pretty smart dude with this new offense. It's obvious to me that they know they will not succeed. They are mortgaging the 26th season. Makes no sense. The window's still shut. I don't think your window's shut. Okay, I don't. It was Mike Martz that was behind the greatest show on turf. He lives in San Diego, too. Okay, and Mike Martz is, along with Dick Vermeil, Mike Martz made the West Coast offense. Oh, wait a minute. I'll take that back. Mike Martz made the greatest show on turf. Correct. We've seen Hurts run this system. Dude, Oklahoma, where the Big 12 plays no defenses and windows are this closed in the NFL, nobody plays fucking defense in the Big 12. Windows were wide open. Nobody plays football in the Big 12 on defense. Can you name me a guy that's come out of the Big 12 that was a lockdown guy, lockdown corner? Name me one. Name me an elite defender out of the Big 12. Name me one. I mean, they don't. Quinyon Mitchell is not a Big 12 guy. Name me one. I mean, you don't play defense in the Big 12. Yeah. Name me a defensive football team in the last, 5 years from the Big 12 that plays defense. Name me one, dude. Seals, did Walsh get the WCO from Paul? No. Bill Walsh made it. Paul Brown stole it. Correct. Really. Correct. You really don't know till you see it. He did air raid at Oklahoma, which isn't WC. Who knows if they can. That's right. It's not the same formula. It's just not. Okay? Well, I haven't seen Travis Hunter in the NFL yet. Have you? Have you? Shit, the Jags got far without that dude. I haven't seen that guy play in the NFL. As a matter of fact, the Jags are using him mostly on offense. Saying he can't do it is BS, Sills. Let it play out. Well, wait a minute. If he could do it, why haven't they done it then, Marsh? So you're telling me you think Jalen, wait a minute, Marsh, I'm going to ask you these questions. Marsh, do you believe that Jalen Hurts is an elite precision to short to intermediate passing, and he has the ability on precision timing routes? Do you believe he is a precision passer? Yes or no? Here, I'm going to write this down, Marsh. Let's see what Marsh says. Let's go by him. He's a big Jalenite. You think he's a precision passer? Yes or no? And what you've seen in 6 years. 6 years of quarterbacking, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 5 years of passing, excuse me. In 5 years of starting football, you think he's a precision passer? Yes or no? I didn't ask you to ask CeeDee Lamb. I'm asking you. Do you think that Jalen Hurts is a precision passer? Yes or no? Yes or no? Simple. It's two-point question here. Marsh is a Jalenite, so I'm gonna ask him. He may disagree with me. Marsh, is Jalen? This is just the first fucking question. You say he's a okay. Marsh says that Jalen Hurts is a precision passer. Okay. Let's go to the next one. WC quarterbacks must quickly read defenses. Marsh, do you think that Jalen Hurts is an elite reader of defenses? Yes or no? Precision and elite reader of defenses. Marsh, do you think he's an elite guy reading defenses? Marsh, I love this guy. So I'm not picking on him. I just want to see, again, we're going to put the biggest Jalen guy, and we're going to ask him the questions. Yes, I think he can read defenses. So Marsh says that he's a precision passer, and he's elite at reading defenses. By the way, I completely disagree with that. He's awful at all those skill sets, but this is Marsh. Marsh, do you think, Dan, WCL quarterbacks reliant on drop back steps being in sync with the receiver's routes are usually masters with footwork and 3 to 5 and 7-step drops? Do you think he's great in his footwork and getting back into his drops? You think he's elite? Elite footwork as a passer? Yes or no? Guy takes 40 sacks a year. I mean, so Marsh thinks he is a precision passer and he's an elite reader of defenses. Now we're asking, does he have elite feet? Mark, do you think he has elite footwork as a quarterback? Hey, I'm just giving you the characteristics of a West Coast offense and a West Coast quarterback. Does Hurts have elite feet? Let's move on to the next one, Marsh. Dan. Pocket presence. While not always required to be mobile, they must possess the discipline to stay in the pocket and go through progressions. Do you think Jalen Hurts is elite at staying in the pocket and having patience? Yes or no? This is what you're going to. I mean, hey, this is what they're going to. My point is, it needs 6 years, Sills. This dumb coach has not constructed an offense to allow Hurts to do these things. Okay. I agree. Why is that, Marsh? Because Sirianni can't coach this guy. He can't coach this style of player. He's getting completely away from that. I think they're going to eventually bench Hurts because Sirianni's ass is going to be on the line with this bullshit. You should be building an offense the way they're building an offense for Daniel Jones. Marsh, they should be building the offense how Daniel Jones's offense is being built. Not this bullshit. They're ruining the kid. Now, here, they're not ruining him. They're not ruining him. Because you know why? The resume is too good. But if you have deficiencies and you're starting to get older on defense, this is why Hurts, his window was never a big one. Why? Because once the talent on the team starts getting older, injured, what have you, not production, lack thereof production, then you got to rely on the guy to throw the ball that you didn't develop for 4 years. 2022, 22, 23, 24, 25 is 4 years ago. 4 years ago. I mean, they've gotten every single year away from that 22 guy. When he was elite, I said it. Marsh, after the 22 season, the guy deserved the $250,000 or $250 million. He completely, get this, team-wise, yeah. But when you had to rely on the guy you didn't develop, he couldn't even beat the Niner team. They did him no favors. Kellen Moore was an awful offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts. Terrible. He did nothing to better him as a player. They went to a run game. And they fucking just stopped developing him. 2,900 passing yards, 18 touchdowns. It's ridiculous. He's amazing with a super team. Notice how when the talent starts declining, he's not elevating the offense because they stopped developing him. I'm with Marshall here. They stopped coaching him. Now, you're going to put him under center? He had 50 snaps under center of his 454 passing attempts last year. Sills, you telling the truth? Kellen didn't do jack developing. Tell me what he did, Pete. Pete, what did Jalen Hurts do? And what did Kellen Moore do to develop him as a player? Get this. M. Reyes is saying Super Bowl MVP. So fucking what? That doesn't mean you're an elite player. Stop with that. It's a tremendous accomplishment. It's 60 minutes of football. It's not 6 months of carrying your team. The guy who carried the team in 24 for 6 months was Barkley. Look at the numbers. Pete, what did Kellen Moore do to make Hurts a better player in the pocket? Name me one thing. Absolutely true. Name me one thing Kellen Moore did to make him better. Nothing. Correct. They leaned on the run game. You know why Hurts? Listen, Hurts winning the MVP. He's a good player. Sam Darnold's not an elite guy. Sam Darnold played Jalen Hurts football. By the way, look at the last two Super Bowls. Two guys that are not elite in the pocket. Two guys that are good. They're not great. They're really good players. I disagree with Jason Cole and more with Armando Salguero. The last two Super Bowls were won by Jalen Hurts and his 2,900 passing yards and Sam Darnold, who was on 5 different teams. I don't know. And 2 teams that could run the ball and play defense. Sam Darnold was a dude in that game, that Super Bowl. I told you this before, and I'll tell you again. You don't have to be great at that position. You just can't suck at that position. And you'll win a Super Bowl. Bucks can win a Super Bowl with Mayfield. If you can win a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold, you can win a Super Bowl with fucking anybody. Seals, why are they so gung-ho changing the offense? Personally, for me, I believe that they believe. Here, would you not agree with this? Okay? Hold on for a second. What do you mean Jalen Hurts conveniently missed 4 games? Do you actually, your passing offense was 28th. Brock Purdy missed 9 games. And the Niners were 4th in passing. They had 2 dudes, Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. What did the Niners finish in passing offense? Let me see here. What did the 49ers finish this past year in passing offense? And in total offense? With 2 different dudes. What did the Niners finish with? Total offense. 49ers were 7th. Passing. 49ers were 5th. With Mac Jones and Brock Purdy. And Purdy missed 9 games. No, they were 7th. And you were 25th. And 28th the last 2 years. Why? Mac Jones and Brock Purdy. And then they ended up beating you in the playoffs. Am I right when I say this? That the Niners have a 2-game winning streak versus the Eagles? Is that right? Last 2 times they've played you, they've beaten you twice in a row? Is that correct? They knocked your doorknobs off in Lincoln Financial, and then they just beat you this in the playoffs? With Brock Purdy. You're 2-1 against them, right? I think. About what? I'm talking about when you mentioned the 2,900 yards. As if that was a 17-game play. Okay, let's just say this then. You had another, 300 yards? 400 yards? You were running the ball 38 times a game. 3,200 yards, 3,300 yards? Okay. Sure. If you think Kellen got a job for what he did with Hurts, I don't know what kind of drugs you're on. If you think Kellen, he didn't get the job what he did with Hurts. He got the job because he moved off of Hurts and moved to a run game and adapted to what the talent was in the roster. That's why he got that job. He didn't get the job because what? The 28th ranked passing attack? How many people believe that he got that job because of how he handled Hurts? Maybe he did because he took the ball out of his hands. Let me go back. Listen, once again, this is not a conversation about Hurts. This is a conversation about the coaching staff. I've been around long enough to remember you telling us, Sills, that under Steichen was the best we could see of Hurts. Okay? I thought you was clowning him, but I see it. Dude, Shane Steichen. Look at what Shane did, Marsh, to Daniel Jones. I swear to God, Marsh, I watched Daniel Jones. I went, that's fucking Jalen Hurts 2022. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, that's Daniel Jones, the guy from New York? I couldn't believe it. I mean, I couldn't believe how good Daniel Jones. Hey, Marsh, you want to hear this? This offseason, they're going to give Daniel Jones a 3-year contract extension. And he got hurt. He's the guy moving forward. Like, he's the dude. Says, you got any sample? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Kyle, I'm going to do that here in a minute. Okay? Promise. I don't trust Sills' opinion on evaluating quarterbacks. Okay? Then get this. You're right. Jalen's been a great pocket passer. By the way, guy, it's not an opinion. Look at your offenses. What do you mean, my opinion? Okay, wait a minute. Let me go back to this guy. Well, then why are they firing their entire offensive coaching staff? Easy. I don't trust. Okay. Well, then I'll trust your opinion. Why do you think they fired the entire coaching staff? Not just the OC, but the entire coaching staff on offense. Why? Let's hear your opinion on that. What you think why they fired the entire staff except the wide receiver coach and the running back coach. Okay? Why? Adapt to what? They couldn't adapt to what? What couldn't they adapt to? They haven't done anything yet. And the guys you hire have no experience at all at what they're going to do. It's the way the defense was playing them. Okay. Hey, Kibo, who's the most experienced coach, in your opinion, on the Philadelphia Eagles on offense when it comes to running a spread offense? Who's got the most experience in the offensive huddle with your current coaching staff right now? Sills, what can we expect this season with the coaching staff basically coaching away from the quarterback skill set? There you go. Sirianni. The least experienced guys you hired, O-line, pass coordinator, run game coordinator, all these guys are very limited. Who's the one guy that has the most experience dealing with West Coast spread? Nick. Nick's the guy that's going to put the offensive game plan together. This new OC you hired, he's going to call the plays like Brian Johnson did. This is Nick's show. Nick knows what he's doing. Now, just what we need, a running back that can catch the ball too, getting out on the entire. Hey, Adino, Saquon Barkley is not a running back that fits what you're going to do. We said this yesterday. He doesn't fit. I got the Eagles to take a step back with new changes And if AJ leaves, game over for the Eagles. I agree with you. Why is everyone so desperate to move on from a proven quarterback? I have never in a million years said move off of Jalen Hurts. I have never said that. I've never said bench him. I've never said any of that. You have never heard, I don't really think you've heard anybody on JAKIB ever mention it. That shit comes out of WIP. We have never, ever said that. Bench Jalen Hurts. Never. I've asked the question, do you think Nick will one day and when? But I've never said I want to see him benched. Get this. I've never said bench him. Sills, explain to me, with this team's aging, why would an organization do a total rebuild of the offense? I can't put my finger on it. Please help me understand. They believe that offense has gone as far as it could go. Okay? Still, so nobody we have on offense fits the new scheme. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now who I think fits on offense. Then what you're going to do with spread? By the way, do you want to get Randy Cross on? Randy Cross ran the original West Coast offense with Joe Montana. Would you like to get him on? He was a guy who blocked in it, played in it for 13 years. Would you like to get him on? Okay, we'll get Randy Cross on. Okay? We will. So we'll ask him. Randy Cross played 13 years in the Bill Walsh West Coast original. Now, it's changed a lot, but we'll get him on. We'll do that, okay? No. Randy Cross. Randy Cross. Moss didn't play in that. Randy Cross. Okay? All right. So here. Yeah, okay. Saquon Barkley. Oh, yes, right. Here it is. Here's the guys that fit in the West Coast offense. Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, Dallas Goedert, Mulata, Steen, probably it. Those are the guys I would say. Seals, I like the West Coast offense for Jalen because the weapons the Eagles have. Defenses should be forced to play into playing man. Yeah, playing man. So wait a minute. That means that you're going to have more complex passing routes. They don't have complex passing routes. I mean, dude, they're simple. I don't believe Juergens with his – now, hey, I would say this about Juergens. Juergens is going to have to show me that he can play and that he can get up on the second level again because he was injured all year. Sills, another take you played in the league. Do you think Lane and Mulata, who have only been coached by Stout, listen to Kuper if he tries to change their techniques? I don't believe he's going to try to change the techniques. I think he's going to try to extend their techniques. When you have a coach like Stoutland, Here, I'll give you guys a great, for instance. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of, now, these guys were old. So this might not be, and you tell me if you guys think, Shipley Fitz, if you guys think this is, it doesn't relate, you tell me. So when I got to Dallas, you had Tom Rafferty, you had Randy White, you had Too Tall Jones, you had a bunch of guys on that football team. Jimmy Johnson comes in, okay? And Jimmy wanted to run a certain style of offense. Jimmy wanted to run a certain style of defense. This played more on the defensive side of the football. Jimmy didn't want to play the flex defense any longer. He thinks it was outdated. You're playing off the ball. You're in you're down on like all fours. We played with one hand down. He didn't want to play that style. So you know what he did? He went to Randy White and said, Randy, listen, I think it's in the best interest you retire, or if you want, we'll move you to another team. We don't think you can play this style. Randy White was 34 years old, 33 years old, and he went through minicamp. He goes, would you like to try? He gave it, get this, he gave them the option. The only guy that stayed was Too Tall Jones. And Ed played pretty good for his 17th year, and in his final season, he played pretty damn well in that forefront. But he went to Randy White and told Randy, listen, I don't believe, you want to change. Do you want me to trade you? Do you want to try it? What do you want to do, Randy? Jimmy didn't want to disrespect him. So he went to the players. Eugene Lockhart. He went to Bates. He went to all these players, Everson Walls, all the great players on defense. He goes, we're not going to play this style. We're going to play a completely different style. What do you guys want to do? Ed Too Tall was a freak, and I love Ed Too Tall Jones to this day. Got a great picture of him and me and my wife. He's a dear friend of mine. I love Too Tall. I played with Too Tall. That's what's going to go on here. Like this guy, Chris Kuper, is going to go to him and go, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to coach you? Because at the end of the day here, we have to do certain things a certain way. I'm here to learn from you as well. Butch Davis, we had a guy, and Marty, we had Jim Jeffcoat too. We had another guy by the name of Ernie Stautner. Ernie Stautner was one of the greatest defensive line coaches of all time. Have you guys ever heard the name? Ernie Stautner. He was a Hall of Fame Pittsburgh Steeler, and he coached me my first year in Dallas. Okay? When I first got there in November at the end of the year, and I was on the practice squad. So I got there, and there was Ernie Stautner, just a legendary coach. Well, Jimmy didn't retain him. He brought Butch in. Butch said this to Ed Jones and Randy White. This is what a really good young coach will say to a legendary player like Lane Johnson. Butch said this, listen, I'm going to learn more from you, Ed, than you're going to learn from me. So this is going to be a little uncomfortable for me, not you. Ed, you tell me what, I'm going to be relying on you. That's what Butch did. So we used to get into the team meetings. This is a true story. We're watching game film, and Butch brought tapes of me and Jerome playing the three technique and the one technique. It was crazy. I'm watching myself, Randy White, Ed Jones. I can't remember the other guys that were in. They were legendary D-line guys I grew up idolizing. Okay? What gets you hired as an assistant coach? How convincing are you in interviews or your resume? It's both. It's both. It's the interview and your resume. It is. And let me tell you, my wife knows the story. I'm sitting in these meetings with Too Tall here and Randy White right here. And I'm watching, and they're watching me play in college because Butch brought what they wanted us to look like in technique. Ed Too Tall Jones goes just like this one day in practice. Butch is in the middle of us, and he goes, Ed goes, I'm trying to do the thing Sileo's doing right there by playing that outside shoulder the way he did. He jammed the guy great, got off the tackle, made the play in the backfield like that. To me, that's the technique that I want to play. I sat there and heard that. Butch looked over at me, and I looked at him, and I shook my head. Ed Jones said he wanted to play it down like me. I almost fucking fainted. This guy played 17 fucking years. He's a legend in the game. And Ed goes, come over to my – I became friends with him after that. Went out with him. My wife and I know him well. He's sitting there going, yeah, I'm going to play the defensive line position like Sileo. Like I said, I looked over at Butch. We looked at each other right at the same time. I started smiling. I looked back. I shook my head. I went, my grandfather should be here. Randy White's going, yeah, the way Dan's playing it right there, that's how it should be played. And I'm going, now I'm playing against Florida. These guys are playing against the Redskins and the Eagles. And I'm going like this. Oh, hey. Too Tall was just fucking incredible. I have nothing but admiration for the man. People in Dallas love Too Tall Jones. I mean, you'll never hear a bad word about that man. Just a prince of a dude. I enjoyed being his friend. I enjoy being his friend. I enjoy being around him. Just a great guy. And should be in the Hall of Fame. But he was just a humble guy. Never cried or bitched. Randy White and Harvey Martin used to get all the accolades. But Ed was a beast on that team, man. I saw him at 36 years old, 37 years old playing and beating guys up that were 25 years old. He's a fucking great player. And he's just a phenomenal player, man. By the way, Too Tall was the number 1 overall pick. I think out of some place like East Tennessee State. He was just an insane football player. We don't need maulers, and that's right. Hey, Marsh, do you remember that offensive line? It's a great take. Marsh knows what he's talking about. Marsh, do you remember that Denver line? That Denver Broncos line with Alex Gibb? When it didn't really matter who they had playing running back. They had guys back. I mean, every guy, I think there was like 5 years in a row where like the Denver Broncos had a different 1,000-yard rusher, and he led the league in rushing. I mean, it was like they had guys back there that you never heard of, but their old line was all like 285, 275. They weren't big. Like, get this. Hey, Marsh, am I right to say this? Guys, Mekhi Becton can't play for Philadelphia this coming season. He can't play in this offense. Mekhi Becton can't play in this offense. Big giant dudes can't play in this offense. You got to get up on levels. You got to be athletic. Slip, scoop, reach. Slip, scoop, reach. Slip, scoop, reach. Those are the techniques that these linemen have to do. You slip around the nose to get to the backside backer. You scoop the defensive end. Got to have great feet to get out there on scoop blocks. You reach. It's more of a lateral step because you're reaching and getting out on the perimeter to set the edge. Slip, scoop, reach. Those are all reach blocks, slip blocks, scoop blocks. You know how athletic you have to be to do that? Jason Kelce would be spectacular in this system. He could still be playing. This fits Jason Kelce. Mulata's going to be good in it. Yes. Jordan Mailata, I'll tell you what. If it were me, now, they'll never do this. But Mailata playing left guard or right guard, Might help your run game. Now, okay, you're going to lose one of your tackles, right? So are you going to run the reach plays? Are you going to run them wide, them wide stretch plays? Who's your back? Barkley? Okay. So again, these guys are more athletic. Okay, Jordan is athletic to do anything. Yeah, to put him at guard. You could probably play him at center. Shit, you could probably play Jordan Mailata at halfback. And you could get away with it and how good he is. Hurts can't be coached. 11 OCs in 12 years, he sucks. That's not an indictment on him. That's an indictment on how the organization operates. Jalen doesn't ask for new OCs. They do it on their own. Can you imagine this too? So you fire all these offensive coordinators without even the quarterback's input. How do you know Jalen didn't like Kevin Patullo? How do you know he didn't like Brian Johnson? Did Jalen just went along with it? Okay. Jalen must be okay with the fires. He's never voices of disapproval. Hey, by the way, do you think that's a problem? The quarterback's never endorsed the firing, or he's never spoke up against one. Don't give me that bullshit about a coach's son. Everybody's got an opinion if they think it's getting out of hand. And especially if it's affecting the way people see him and also how they look at him. Give me that bullshit about his coach's dad shit. That is irrelevant. Okay? Well, he's, fuck that. Who cares? This is pro ball here. Everyone's got an opinion on bullshit. AJ's got an opinion. Shit, Devontae has an opinion. Hurts is the only guy that doesn't. So Jalen must be okay with all these fires, right? I've never heard anything either way. Offense needs to build it like OULBs. Okay? They can move Juergens back to guard to protect that back in this scheme, especially if Kendall or Lampkins comes on. Lampkins fits the scheme well, bowling ball athlete. That could be, the guys that they have for the backups. That could be too. Okay? Jalen is okay with Patullo gone, but not Scott Loeffler. I don't know. Okay. I just know this. Let's see. He's got 6 different OCs since he's been in the bitch. No different conversations? All right. So let me get to the draft. By the way, Xander will join us at the bottom. We will also have our friend Adam Kaplan will join us at 5:30. Battle Royale at 4:30 as well. So I wrote down the 10 best football players in this draft. I also wrote down the Eagles 6. These are 6 dudes that I think in the first round, okay, that could be in that position at 23. Okay? That could be in that position at 23. What do you want to hear first? The Eagles? This draft doesn't stink. The quarterbacks stink. And that's what's jading your opinion on it. Okay? You guys are wrong. There's good-looking football players in here. Now, how many first-rounders are there? There's about 18 first-rounders. Last year, there was 15. Personally, I think Fernando Mendoza, I think he's a third-round draft choice. I don't think he's the number 1 overall pick, but it's the position. All right? So, do you want to hear the Eagles or do you want to hear the 10 best players? Let me see here. This is great. Bledsoe sent me some stuff on the players. All right. So here, this is really good. I got some. Bledsoe sent me some information. It's a scouting service that professional NFL teams. Let me give you the exact number on how many people. Let me see here. I'm gonna ask a friend for a second here. Hang on. How many NFL teams use Bledsoe? How many NFL? John, how many NFL teams use Bledsoe? How many teams use? Okay. Okay, here's the 12 teams. Falcons, Bills, Bears, Browns, Cowboys, Lions, Texans, Jags, Dolphins, Vikings, Giants, Steelers. 12 teams are affiliated with Bledsoe. Ball club leaders, educators, scouting talent organization. This is a service that is given to the NFL teams. Some subscribe to it, some don't. Okay? So what some teams will do is they'll take the report and then, of course, they want to do their own work. Okay, so here are my 10 best that I took off of Bledsoe. I've got Ruben Bain as the number one player. It breaks it down to where in 2025 he had 897 snaps. 2024 he had 422. In his sophomore year, he had 627. He had 12 sacks this year. He had 9. 24 year wasn't as good. He got banged up a little bit. Okay. When he lined up, it gives you line up over tackles. His best game of the year was against the Gators. His worst game of the year was against Virginia Tech. Tells me a little bit too, because Virginia Tech didn't have a quarterback at that respective time. And that was like in week 13. And they ran the ball a ton at him. So again, run defended snaps. He had 336. He had 70 hurries this year, which was excellent. Overall grade of 92.8. He's one of the highest graded, if not the highest graded player in the draft. I don't even think Mendoza had that high a grade. Mendoza's 91.6, according to Bledsoe. So I got Ruben Bain number one with a grade of 92.8. Arvell Reese. Now, again, this isn't me with the grade. This is Bledsoe with the grade. This is a scouting service. This is how the NFL looks at them. Okay? Arvell Reese, I got number 2, the linebacker from Ohio State. Now, these are my 10 favorite guys. Number 3 is David Bailey. 93.3. Bledsoe graded him. He's the edge. He's going to go high in the draft. He's the 4th best player in the draft right now. Seals, you should ask Adam about who set the Birds Timu cash budget limit. I will. 5:30. We got him coming on. Yeah. Well, these aren't PFF. These are more. These are more what Bledsoe has. So I've got Ruben Bain 1. I've got Arvell Reese, linebacker, Ohio State 2. David Bailey 3, edge, Texas Tech. I've got Caleb Williams at 4. These are my 10 best. Fernando Mendoza is not one of the 10 best players in this draft. I've got Jeremiah Love at number 5. Running back, Notre Dame. Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State. I got him 6th. Sonny Styles, linebacker. I got him 7th. Micaiah Lemon, wide receiver, USC. I got 8th. 9, I've got Mansour Delane, cornerback, LSU. 9. And 10, I've got Francis Magala, offensive tackle, Miami. Miami's got 2 dudes. Ohio State's got 1, 2. Ohio State's got 1, 2, 3, 4 dudes in the top 10. Okay? Love is not the number 1 player in the country. Why? Because he played at Notre Dame? Well, you'll find out. Hey, the draft tells you who the best players are in the draft, except for the quarterbacks. Okay? Not those All-American teams. Nobody gives a shit about those All-American teams come April. So, Bain, Reese, Bailey, Downs, Love, Tate, Styles, Lemon, Delane, and McGowan. Those are my top 10 players in this draft. Those are my guys, my 10 dudes that I would say that are my sandbox guys that are going to be people this year. We've been pretty good the last couple of years on this show. I saw him. That Fano kid's going to be around there for the Eagles. Is that the Penn State kid you're talking? The Penn State offensive lineman's graded higher. 6'4", 328. That kid's going to be right down there where the Eagles are too. Looney. TJ Parker from Clemson's going to be around that room. So those are my 10 dudes. Now here are my Eagle guys. Not good players. Dude, nobody thought that Kuper DeJean was good. He won the 2nd round. I mean, nobody thought Milton Williams was good in the 3rd round. Nobody thought Jalix Hunt was going to be all that. He went in the 3rd round. I think you're looking at it wrong. You laying on good players, doesn't matter where you're drafted. Finding the good players. Tyler Steen, you may not like Tyler Steen. He was a 3rd round draft choice and he's starting. The objective is to find starters, not all pros. That's a cherry on top. You're looking for dudes to start. Okay? I mean, yeah, I never saw tape on him. You never really know with draft. Yeah, no, that's correct. He got it. Hey, listen, I don't give a shit about the combines coming up in 11 days. I'm not looking for gym rats. That's a given. You got to love to work out. I'm looking for football players. Do you know all those drills that they'll do at the NFL combines? Every one of those drills that you'll never do in your entire life ever again. You're never going to run shuttles for time. You're never going to run a 40 ever again. You're never going to jump a vertical jump ever again. You're never going to run intermediate 20-yard sprints unless you're training. You're not going to, when you show up to training camp, you think they do that shit? They do a conditioning test. Can you run a mile and a half in 12 minutes or 16 110s? That's the only test they give you. They may do a bench press test. They may do some shit like that, some strength tests. They may not even do that. I don't know if they do that anymore. I remember this. When I showed up for training camp, how many training camps did I show up for? Let's see. 2 with the Cowboys. Oh, excuse me. 2 with the Bucks. 1 with the Cowboys. The Lions. The Lions. What else? 2 Bucks. 2 Bucks, Lions, Cowboys. I did one for the World League. I did one for the Arena League. So I did about 6 training camps. You don't fucking do that shit when you show up at training camps. They give you a conditioning test. I did the mile and a half in 12 minutes. I couldn't do the 16 110s to save my life. I think the most I ever did was 14. The 16 110s, that's Jimmy's test. You've got to run 110 yards. You get 19-second breaks. You got to do it in 19 seconds too. You get 19-second breaks. Then you got to run again. And the position guys had to run it in 17 seconds and got 17-second breaks. I don't ever remember people making it. And that includes the skilled guys. They barely made those. Michael made them. I don't think I ever made them. And I ran those for Jimmy 1, 2, 3, 4 times I ran those. Never made it. Sills, tell these fools in the chat that training camp was brutal compared to today. I went through 3-a-days. Full contact, no time. Yeah, my training camp with Ray Perkins was this. We'd get up in the morning and we would go to training camp. We would eat in the morning and then get this. We'd practice for 2.5 hours in the Tampa heat. And if we were in 3-a-days, they had a giant tent out in the middle of the field. They had giant fans. You took your shoulder pads off. You would have watermelon. You would have oranges. You would have all kinds of citrus stuff, water. And you slept there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then you put your pads on and you'd go back on the field sleeping under that tent and practice for another 2.5 hours. Then you would come back for dinner. Then if you had then we'd have the night practice at 6:30 and we'd go up for another 2.5 hours for 3 months. We did that for 3 months. Used to play 6 games in preseason football. Game? 12-minute mile and a half seems difficult as hell. Dude, it was. Especially when you're 280 pounds. Or you're a 300-pound guy and you got to make those. Oh, yeah. I mean, get this. And when we did 3-a-days in college, because the college guys got beat up more, I don't know how I lived. Here, we would go, our training camps in college were even worse because they were Howard Schnellenberger ones and Jimmy Johnson ones. You know the Junction Boys? Howard Schnellenberger was a coach on them A&M teams with Bear Bryant. So we had that style of training camp. Bro, we never got water. But that, it's illegal to do this shit today. Our trainers used to go to Howard and to Jimmy. You got to give these guys water, dude. We'd go 3-4 hours without water. Nobody grabbed water breaks. Ice bath, always at the Hurricane Complex. They'd have the big saunas, like the big whirlpools filled with the ice that we were like, and you would just dive in and sit there and cool your body off. And just like, yeah, you would cool your body off because it was just so overheated. For months, he would do this. 2-3 months. Every fucking day. 3 days. And then I think we would only do 3 days for like 3 weeks, but then you go back to 2 days for 3 months. I mean, these guys were insane. And you had to be in your teens and 20s to do this shit. You couldn't be in your like 40s and 30s doing that. No way, man. Did it pay off or was it overkill? That's a great comment. It paid off. Because when we trained that hard and we knew other people weren't training that hard, we had a massive advantage. And we were training in that heat. Those guys that come down and play us fucking knocked the shit out of them. They couldn't handle the humidity. And we had trained so hard. And just, it brings you to tears. I've never in my life ever seen more men cry. Guys would leave in the middle of the night. They would, 5-star kids. I can't do this. You're like, I hear you. Hey, one less D tackle for me to worry about. We had a kid by the name of Darius Frazier. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year. And he was a South Florida kid. And he was the Player of the Year. He lasted 3 days. He came to our room. Jerome, me, I think we had 3 guys in our room then. Jimmy Jones. And we're sitting in there. Jimmy Jones was from Okeechobee. He went to Okeechobee High. I love Jimmy Jones. Jimmy played a long time in the NFL. He was my backup too. One of my backups. And I love the guy. We're laying in there, man. This guy knocks on the door. Hey, man, I got to go. We're like, where? We got practice in the morning. He's like, no, I can't do it. I got to go. I go where? He goes, home. I go, you're going to go home? We called Jimmy because the guy's a Gatorade Player of the Year. Look at Darius Frazier. He was a Gatorade Player of the Year. So we called. He goes, hey, this kid's going to leave. Jimmy's like, don't let him leave. I said, kid, look, Jimmy wants to talk to you before you go. He goes, Coach, I got to go. I can't do it. I can't take it. Guy walks out. Jimmy looks at us and he goes, you fuckers ran him out. And I go, I didn't do anything. You ran him out. I go, you ran his ass out. I didn't run anybody out. You ran him out. Don't tell me about it. Absolutely. No way. Yes, sir. Hey, I'll tell you what. So let me get this one number up here before I big Big Z up. There's some nuggets that I'm starting to get off that Birds 365. You guys are sitting there saying we're going to run a spread-ass offense. We're going to look like the Rams. You're going to throw that football around the yard like this. I said, all right. So Warren Sharp comes out. Who was the teams that sucked the worst under center? That would be the Eagles. They're the 3rd worst team in the league with taking snaps under center. You should see all these stars. Rams, Bears, Seahawks, Niners, Bills, Patriots, Packers, Texans, Jags, all the playoff teams, all under center. And they're the Eagles way down the list. Hang on here. You mean the Carolina Panthers? So wait a minute. Bryce Young was better under center than Hurts. Yeah. Sandra ain't going to fight that one because that's one of his boys. How you doing? Without further ado. All right. I want to know what these people are doing here. Okay? I really do. I want to know what they're doing here. Without further ado, we bring our friend in, Big Z, Xander Krause. He joins us now. How you doing, brother?
What's up, Sills? How you doing, brother?
I am doing. You tell me, Z.
Is my internet good today or what?
Oh, you look fabulous, kid.
I look dynamite.
You look dynamite right now.
Thank you,
You're
brother.
ready to roll there.
All right, good to know. Thank you, my friend.
All right. Your Eagles are 30th in under center quarterback snaps. And one of the parameters on being able to run a spread is you got to be under center pretty much if you're going to run it.
Yeah.
How come every day, Xander, all kidding aside, how come every day we come up with all the things that we're talking about, that the changes that you guys want to make, and yet nothing fits? Help me understand this and where we're going. Like, look, I'm wondering what levels are going to be, how much we talked yesterday about. Is it going to be 60%, 20%? Tell me what we're doing here. I'm still not getting what we're doing.
Sills, I think it's a very fair question, and I don't think it has anything to do with being a hater. I think it's fair to look at this football team and say, are they sure they want to play like teams that are built completely different? I mean, I think it's a fair question. That stat about under center is not great, and I'll tell you what. I'm going to tell you something now that you're going to latch on to. Got the pen ready?
I got it.
I was reading an article today, and I want to make sure, I'm pretty sure it was the Ringer. Okay. Eagles are on the precipice of a reset, is what they basically argued. Now, I want to give you a key stat from that piece. The Eagles rank dead last in throws between the numbers since Jalen Hurts became the starter for the Birds, so 2021. 903 total. It's over 100 fewer than the next closest. They're 32nd in the NFL in throws between the numbers. So that's another big part of this offense, though, is that's why I bring that up, because you go under center and you utilize all parts of the field, especially the middle of the field. I mean, everybody remembers that drive in the playoff game that Quinyon Mitchell got burnt toast on, right? Everybody remembers that drive? Where were all three of the throws on Quinyon Mitchell? Anybody tell me? All three of them in the numbers. Every one of them. So that's a concern, and the under center thing is a concern. But, look, we're going to see, dude. And that's basically the end. I think everybody can try and come up that they have the know-all of what's going to happen with the Eagles team this year. I don't really think so. I think everybody doesn't know, and we're all in wait and see mode. Now, people can feel a certain way like you do, that they're not positioned to play this way. My question to that at this point would be, how are we sure they're going to play that way?
The hires tell you.
Yeah, but I mean, to what extent? They're definitely changing. That's a guarantee. But how much? I also saw this today. I think somebody put this in my chat earlier on Birds 365. When Sean Mannion was the quarterback coach this year and Jordan Love went down, they did not run the same West Coast offense with Malik Willis. I think it was Rasputin. You said this in the chat. Rasputin, if you're listening, thank you, buddy. Pretty sure it was you. He said they ran it was a similar scheme, but it was more built for one read and RPO and for Malik Willis' skill set. He's a guy with a big arm and a guy who runs the ball well.
Yep.
So I don't think, now that's not Mannion's offense. That was LaFleur's. That's not the same exact thing. But I do, I think Mannion I don't think he's going to trot Jalen Hurts out there and turn him into Purdy. So I'm waiting. What does it look like? It's hard to tell.
Well, that leads me to this then. With that number you just told me, and it's one thing that I've harped on since the beginning of time here. The kid does not throw into the middle of the field, which means you're predictable on the numbers.
Right.
I say that those numbers that A.J. Brown and Devontae got, they're overrated. Not the yards.
1,000 yards in today's game is not all that impressive.
It's overrated in the fact that the predictability of the D coordinators to be able to figure out what you're doing. If I keep you underneath and you gain 1,500 yards receiving and your passing offense is 28th, dude, I'm beating you.
Yeah, I
you
agree.
Can have AJ's numbers, and where AJ is a beast is after the catch when he fucking just tears people apart because of his physicality. But, dude, if I know 90%, you're telling me, Xander, almost 90% of the time, I know you're going to the letters or to the numbers and to the sidelines, and you're barely going across the middle of the field. Is that Jalen Hurts' inability, or is that the coaching staff's inability, or both?
Well, you're putting me in a tough spot here with the answer, but the answer is too obvious. I mean, the stat I just gave you dates back to when he became a starter.
That's right.
It's not limited to a coordinator. It's not even limited to Nick Sirianni because they brought in Kellen and tried to run his offense, and they had Shane Steichen here as well. So I guess you could make an argument it's Nick's offense.
It's the
but
QB.
For me, it's more Jalen. I mean, look, and here's where I differ from you. Where I differ from you is not that I don't agree with that sentiment. It's that I think they can be successful emphasizing what Jalen does well. But it seems like they're trying to emphasize this, which is not what he does well. I think they can have success emphasizing what Jalen does well. They've been successful. That's where I think we differ. But if you are saying this is the offense they're going to run, I don't know. It doesn't really make the most sense, but it did need a change.
So Mike Martz sent me an email. I asked him because he ran West Coast.
Yeah.
And he's an architect of the greatest show on turf. And I asked him the particulars of a WCO QB. Precise.
We're the East Coast. Why does everybody want to play West Coast offense? We're the East.
I'm East Coast too, bro. I get it.
Turn the East Coast into the left coast. I don't know.
I got it. Okay. Precise accuracy, impeccable timing. That's a no.
What was
quarterback
accuracy?
I'm sorry?
What did you say that last one was? Precise accuracy?
Precise accuracy and impeccable timing, that high-level mental processing.
I think Jalen's actually pretty accurate. Where I think he struggles is the timing, and then that creates accuracy issues if you have timing routes. Because if you're not
I don't think he processes. He doesn't go 1, 2, 3 in progression reads. He doesn't do any of that.
No, I didn't say that. I said he's accurate. When he does pick where to throw, I think he can thread the needle. The problem is the timing, for sure.
All right. Dan, the quarterback must understand complex, intricate play calls. You think that that's been an intricate and a very complex offense that Hurts runs in the last 4 years, 5 years?
Not currently, no.
Okay.
That'll be a test for Jalen, for sure.
Dan, ability to diagnose defenses instantly and make split-second decisions. You think he's good at that?
That's where Brock Purdy excels. It's why Kyle paid him. I can't say that's been Jalen's strong suit. No, that's not. But it's hard to tell. I mean, I think, when we had Kelsey early in his career, he didn't have to do it as much. And then he's taken on more of that. Again, I don't think it's a strong suit, but I don't think he's incapable.
How much do you think the coaching staff has hurt him in his time in Philadelphia growing as a player?
Well, I think if you ask the coaching staff that, they'll tell you we helped him.
Growing as a player or playing within a system?
Right. The reason they would say that is because, if you tried the West Coast offense for 2021 or 2022 Jalen Hurts, he would have never got to another contract. He would have been a backup in the league. So I think the coaching staff, while you might be right that the style of play they've implemented would limit somebody's growth, if somebody's growth is limited to begin with, or has a ceiling in certain areas to begin with, did the coaching staff open up a new avenue for him to have great success?
I think there's a point there if you want to go on the positive side. So let me go positive here with this. Maybe what they should be doing in Buffalo is maybe clipping the wings a little bit of the quarterback up there, like they do with the quarterback in Philly. Is that also a formula on how you look at playing within a system? I think Jalen Hurts is the ultimate. I think Jalen is the ultimate systems player.
Yeah, but not in every system.
Well, the ones that Nick puts him in.
That's what I'm saying. You said you think the coaches have hindered him. Yeah, I do. But I also think the coaches decided that doing what they did, which did hinder Jalen, was the best thing for the team to have success. And by the way, the team has been very successful in the last 4 years. Now, maybe Jalen hasn't developed as much as some want him to, but the team has been successful.
Okay.
This is, you're roping me back into I can't defend Nick another day. Don't make me defend Nick more today.
No, but it sounds like that Hurts is a caboose. Hold on here. Let me go here. Hang on here. The patience to take a short completion, often reading from deep to short and allowing the play to develop. You think Hurts allows plays to develop?
He struggles because he rolls out to the right. If you're going to roll to the right, it's hard to let plays develop. So to some extent he does, but not really.
Here's what Mike said, though. Dan, I'll tell you one thing. Focuses on a high percentage throws, maintaining possession, often labeling a field general. Risk averse.
Yeah, so this is actually, this is a credit to Jalen. He's been such a playmaker his entire life, where offenses and his teams have relied on him to make plays, that him being a what'd you just call it? What was the word you just used?
Caboose.
No, not your word, the email word.
A field general.
A field general. That's not really been his game. Brock's been a field general his whole life. Jalen's been a playmaker. Playmaker and field general are very different things. They're very different things.
WCO quarterback possesses a direct tie to footwork, 3-step, 5-step. Dan, where the feet dictate the timing of the throw. That's when you can tell that if you have a good WCO quarterback. You think Jalen's got good footwork?
I think it's gotten a lot better. I wouldn't say it's a strong suit.
I would say this. The things I'm bringing
I'm going to be honest. I'm not the guy to ask about that. I mean, I have an opinion on what I've seen, but I'm not going to sit up here and tell you I know Jalen's footwork is this, that, or the other. I don't know. It looks okay to me, but I understand its implications on passing the football. This
is more about the coaching staff, not Hurts. I think they're going to coach him wrong. I want maybe that I should have started saying this to you that listen, what I'm talking about here is shit he hasn't done. How about this? We're going to be talking about potential in year 6. He potentially
No, we can't do that. Word's retired, dude. That word is save that word for this year's draft picks and Jahad Campbell. I don't want to hear that word anymore about people who've been here. I'm not even using that word on Quinyon and Kuper anymore. They've retired from the threshold. Potential is reserved for 1 and 2 year guys.
That's right. Right. Here's where this is where it kind of fits him. Ability to stay calm in the pocket and execute despite pass rush. I do think he exits the pocket too quick. You think he's got poise in the pocket?
No, he's not great in the pocket. I mean, I used to do the thing in the year. Everybody got so mad at me when I did it. I would do the happy feet. He would start to. He doesn't do well when the pocket breaks down. He doesn't. It's. I mean, you can see it through the screen. It's. You almost get secondhand like agita when you're watching it.
Here's the quarterbacks that Mike Martz said that run examples of WCO and guys that are West Coast guys. Montana, Young, Rich Gannon, Drew Brees, Alex Smith, Aaron Rodgers, those kind of guys. Those are West Coast dudes. Jalen doesn't look anything like those guys. And for the Eagles to try to put a coaching staff together to make him think he could be that, I'm not understand. Are you running this guy out of town?
Well,
or are you running Nick out of town?
Here was the super chat of the day today on Birds 365, not your show. Although you've had some good supers today as well. The super chat of the day this morning was, does Jalen Hurts want this offense?
He has to.
No, that's not what I asked. Is Jalen Hurts one of the reasons or one of the catalysts for why they're – did Jalen Hurts emphasize he had an issue? Is this the offense he wanted to run? I think it's a great question. And I don't know the answer.
So you
John
think
said no, he wasn't thinking.
So you think he had something to do with Stoutland being fired then?
I don't think I'm not insinuating that by any stretch. But John said he does not think – he said, in my experience with Jalen, he's basically a smart enough guy to know that he's great at certain things and other things that are not his strong.
And I believe that he knows that.
I do too. And John knows that his playmaking and stuff is one of the big reasons that they have won games and the risk-averse approach. So he said, I don't think Jalen would tell you he wants to play this offense. Now, he was speculating. He didn't say he know or anything. But I think Jalen wants it.
Why hasn't Jalen said either way whether he's against a firing of an offensive coordinator or he's for a change? How come he never has commented on any of it? I mean, AJ's had comments on the coordinators. Now, look, you're going to tell me about his personality, but dude, when does a quarterback step up for somebody?
I'm going to tell you, I don't think this is on Jalen.
Okay,
what you're talking about. I think it is his personality, but I think it's the team that he plays for, coupled with the personality of the player. And what I mean by when I say the team he plays for, anybody who knows anything about the inner workings of the NovaCare complex and the Eagles organization, it's an odd building, okay? They're weird about information. They're very weird about, like, being lying, basically, and being truthful and the way things are perceived in the media, the way things are reported in the media, relationships, all these different things. The Eagles are very weird about. They walk on eggshells about. This has been a Jeffrey Lurie thing for a long time. Not the last 3 years. This has been a Jeffrey Lurie thing for 10 plus years, and I think when you have that type of environment, I commonly call them the Gestapo because every time we talk about some shit, they come barking at us. But if you couple that with a guy, Jalen Hurts, who's inherently a company guy, which is okay. I mean, he's a guy that he's not going to upset the apple cart. That's not his
By the
game.
way, go across the league. How many $50 million quarterbacks are barking up their train?
Right.
None.
He's a company guy. So if you couple that, though, with the environment he's in, I think you get a lot less, of Jalen. And I think that's kind of what you're seeing. I don't think he's going to – I mean, think about it. Anything he says, anything AJ says is used. I mean, he was on one podcast, whatever, this week, and it's been talked about everywhere. If Jalen was making comments, can you imagine? We already talk about Jalen Hurts every damn day.
Yeah.
So he's not going to go down that road. And I don't think that's all on him, but I do think he has a set style. I think he believes in himself, which is a good thing. And I think he's got a little ego to him, but I don't say that in a bad. I got ego. Sileo's got ego. Every one of you listening has ego. Ego's a good thing.
I don't have an ego.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
I'm a humble dude, man.
Oh yeah. Everybody's got a little bit of ego.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's an all right thing. Did
All
Michael
right.
Jordan have an ego?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So I've got my year-ending top 10 quarterbacks, playoffs, regular season. You want to hear them?
Your top 10 quarterbacks from the playoffs and the regular season?
Yep. A whole
Are
year.
they split or is it one list?
No, it's one list.
Okay, one list.
Guys who I think played the best this year, playoff-wise and also regular season-wise.
All
So
right, let's hear it.
my
I don't
10.
have the list created. If you
I know I
texted it,
didn't give you a heads up on this one. Listen,
I'll
I
try
got Patrick Mahomes at number 10.
Okay.
Played 14 games, so I'm going to go there. I got Bo Nix at 9.
Okay.
I got Goff at 8.
Never in a million years did I think I'd hear Bo Nix above Patrick Mahomes. Go ahead. Who'd you have at 8?
Number 8, Jared Goff.
All right. He actually had a good year.
Number 7, Justin Herbert.
I'm surprised he's this low. He had a good year too.
Number 6, Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Number 5, I dropped him far because
Drake
of his
May.
postseason. Drake May.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
put him at 5.
You can make an argument he should. Yeah.
I would have put him 2.
Pretty shoddy playoff performance for
Yeah.
Drake May. Yeah.
I got Sam Darnold 4.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
That was 50% completions in the Super Bowl. You use that word.
He's
that
41
big
and 9.
word. You use that big word for Jalen all the time. What's that word? It starts with a C. It ends with an oos. Caboose. Sam Darnold was the definition
Really?
of caboose in that Super Bowl.
You mean that 343-yard production that he had in the NFC title game for 3 TDs?
Well, you don't give Hurts credit for his NFC title game last year.
I surely did. You bet I did. The Super Bowl and the NFC title game, I gave him all the credit in the world.
Oh, I know. You gave him so much credit. Didn't you?
Hey, the rest of that bullshit, he was in the back of the bus.
Sam Darnold at number 4. You don't believe he's fourth best.
Number 3.
quarterback.
Dak Prescott at number 4.
Dak had a hell of a year.
I got Josh Allen 2.
Okay.
And I got Stafford 1. So here's my list. Mahomes 10, Knicks 9, Golf 8, Herbert 7, Williams 6, Drake May 5. The greatness of Sam Darnold 4, Dak 3.
Just out of curiosity, where would you have Jalen Hurts?
Great question. Hold on. I'll be fair.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Anytime you see that face and hear that noise, you better buckle your seatbelt, folks.
Hold on. Where would I have him? Okay. Let's see. So do I think he had a better year than Stafford? No. Drake May? No. Darnold? No. Caleb Williams? No. He didn't have a better year than Darnold, 40 touchdowns and 25 TDs. Did he have a better year than Trevor Lawrence? 29 touchdowns and $4,000. 60% completion percentage he may have there. He didn't have a better year than Herbert. I think he had a better year than Mayfield. He didn't have a better year than Allen. Hell, Patrick Mahomes played 14 games and he had more passing yards at 3,500.
Let's see. Pat Mahomes 10th behind Bo Sticks.
Jordan Love had 23 TDs and 6 picks. Shit, Jacoby Brissett had a better year than Hurts. Oh, this is fucking wild. Jacoby Brissett had a better year than Hurts.
I think there is a real area this year where even Jalen fans will have to knock him a little bit, because earlier Jalen was able to really make up for a lot of the statistical, numbers with the running game and with running yards and running touchdowns and some of these other playmaking abilities that he had. And that was severely diminished this year. I mean, he had about 50% of the rushing yards this year, and I'm not sure what his total touchdown was.
What's that? 15th.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's right where I am, but that might even be – I mean, I think if you're being completely 100% truthful, and you never are, because even people who aren't Philly people, objective people, all the context is still in their head of what's happened and what goes on with certain quarterbacks. But – I mean, if you dropped an alien on here from Mars and they watched only the 2026 or 2025 football season, I think Jalen would be a little lower. I think he would be, because of the inefficiencies of the passing game all year, and he didn't really provide that same spark we've been accustomed to in the run game. So if you don't provide that, and the passing game sucks with what I thought was certainly good enough receivers and tight ends and everything to have a better passing game, I think somebody would grade Jalen out a little bit lower than that, to be frank.
Well, let me ask you then. I mean, what are the Eagles striving for? Like, what do you think with all this change? I mean, they did win 11. You bring this point. You and John bring up the point, which has to be, I think, hammered more on both shows, is that this fucking team did win 11 games. They did get to the playoffs. They did win a division. We're not talking about like the fucking Jets here. They're just not the Jets. And they're not even Carolina.
If you listen to the National Football Show.
Yeah, it's more me. It is. It's more me. It is, because you do have to put that in context there, dude. So, dude, I have never seen anything like this where, Okay, I fired my entire offensive coaching staff. They won 11 ball games. I want to do something completely different than what I was doing before. And I'm like, they were 50 and 18 in 4 years. What the fuck are you doing?
All right, so I agree. And I'll say this to everybody, even Jalen's biggest haters and Nick. But where are the Nick haters? Come out from the woodworks. I will remind all of you that regardless of what I say, what Sileo says, or what any of you think or believe, facts are facts and cannot be disputed. They are not up for opinion or subjectivity. Okay? Look at how far we come, folks. 11 wins and we're blowing shit up. 11 wins. And
Your
it's time to
organization
blow
is
it
too.
up.
But your organization is too.
I'm saying, think about how far to be an 11-win team and you're so far under expectations, you blow out half the coaching staff. You got to have some pretty high expectations and a pretty good track record of success. I got news for every Nick hater and every Jalen hater. And I admit I will hate on them both sometimes as well. That didn't happen until those two guys showed up. That didn't happen until they had control of the football team. Okay?
How much
That
pressure?
never happened before.
People didn't put pressure on Doug?
Doug got fired with 4 wins.
Okay.
They just blew out a whole staff with 11. By the way, Doug's 2 years prior to the 4 wins, if I'm not mistaken, he had, I think, 9 or 10 wins in both of those games. Less than 11.
You think the Eagles have more respect for Doug Peterson or for Nick?
Yeah, respect is a funny word there. I think they probably respect Doug more because Doug has more of a backbone.
I don't know. I don't think that they were trying to fire Doug twice in 3 years. They fired Doug because of what you said.
Because
Press Taylor because he won 4 games.
Oh, the new offensive coordinator with boy genius Ben Johnson. Did you see that? Yeah, classic. Yeah, everybody told me Doug was a dumb for Press Taylor. Oh, yeah, fire Doug for Press Taylor.
I don't fucking. So
wait. Just to revisit that real quick. All right. Because, man, I love Doug Peterson. And whenever I get an opportunity to defend Doug Peterson, I will defend Doug Peterson. The coordinators that Doug wanted that year, let's think. Who did we want on defense? Oh, we wanted Matt Burke. Oh, the defensive coordinator of the Houston Texans, the #1 defense in football this year. Got it. Okay, and who do we want on offense? Press Taylor. Just elevated to Ben Johnson, the next great offensive mind in football, who made him his offensive coordinator. And by the way, that year when we had 4 wins, does anybody want to remind me of what the injuries on the football team were in 2020? How depleted the offensive line was on that team? The receivers on that football team, Travis Fulgham and Jalen Reagor, if we trotted them out today, we wouldn't win 4 games. We'd be lucky to win 4 games. And they blew Doug out. And that now I get it. Maybe it was time. But boy, is that looked at wrong.
Boy, I think they pulled the trigger too soon on him.
I do too.
You didn't even give him a chance to dig his way out of it. You gave Nick.
It wasn't because they wanted to pull the trigger, dude. It took them 3 weeks to fire him after the season ended. They fired him January 19th or something.
Yeah, they did.
The season ended January 5th.
That's right.
Took them multiple weeks. It's because they wanted him they wanted him to put in who they wanted to install.
They wanted him to turn into Nick.
Yeah. They wanted him to do whatever they wanted.
Your coach.
I'll defend Nick because I think he's in a tough situation in Philly. And I think some people don't have all the information, which is fine. But this is not an easy spot to be a head coach.
So I went and looked at
Doug is my coach, Sills.
I went and looked at your coaching staff, and how come I still see Kevin Patullo on the staff?
Dude, what are they doing with him? Is he going to come back?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so funny.
Nick's not going to let him out of the building. You know why?
Sorry, that is just funny.
He's going to build him up again. He's going to allow him next year, if he wants, to go to work with, guess who? Frank Reich. You watch this. If Kevin Patullo will be with the Jets and Frank Reich working with the quarterback, maybe the reason he's not out of the building yet is because, remember Frank got on my ass. I showed you the text.
Yeah, he was not happy.
He was not happy with that.
Have you talked to him since then?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you guys
He
are
goes,
good?
why are you kicking my guy's ass around? I go, you going to hire him for the Jets? And he goes like this. He's like,
No, I'm not hiring him.
he goes, who fucking told you that now? Let me guess. Boomer told you. I went, no, he goes, yeah, Boomer told me you're waiting to see. They're waiting. Okay, the Jets don't have a quarterback yet, right?
I thought they get one?
No.
Who are you? Oh no, you speculated that they were going, or not speculated.
Kyler Murray or
oh, what a travesty that would be. I would never sign that kid.
I know people who don't want that.
Yeah, I would not go that route. I bet you Frank doesn't want that. He just can't say it.
I know this.
No comment from you, Sileo. You're already
I'm not a very good poker player. Listen, I can tell you this. When the quarterback gets situated at a particular team in the NFL, Kevin Patullo could or could not be on that coaching staff.
Good. Go for him. Get out of Philly.
I don't even get out of Philly.
I don't even think he was problem number one, but
he's not problem number one.
What do you want me to do? Fucking sing a sob song for him? He's gone. See you, dude. Don't forget to clean the egg off your house and you list it for sale.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Listen,
oh,
scrape the egg. Hey, you know that TP that you have in your tree?
Yeah. You better wipe that egg off the window, dude. That's how you're going to knock 10 G's off your home.
You notice, has he been the only guy they've ever retained and demoted and not fired? Is it in the nick time?
No, they just did it with Parks Frazier. They just signed a pass game coordinator, Josh Grizzard. Parks Frazier was the pass game coordinator. He's still in the building. And John said he's not leaving. He's going to be here.
Yeah. Kevin Patullo, too.
Boy, think about this environment, guy. What a lovely environment. A 33, a 35, and a 38-year-old who are all just getting their feet wet in their jobs. And they all got the guys they replaced still in the building. Parks Frazier and Kevin Patullo are still walking around the halls. Oh, yeah. What a lovely environment.
Hey, I'd like you to meet my ex-wife.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's like moving your new wife in with your ex-wife at the same time. Like, what are you doing here, man?
Hey, my ex-wife's going to live in the garage here. Don't mind her.
Oh, so funny.
Dude, right? Okay. All right, what about Kevin Patullo? I mean, what about Lane Johnson? Looks like he's coming back, huh? I'm wrong.
Ooh, that's a quick L for you. That might be one of the quicker L's you've ever taken.
Okay. I might be. Because wait a minute now. So Lane's going to come back, and he's going to have a 33-year-old snot-nosed little frat guy.
24 hours ago, you told me he was gone.
Yeah. I would have left. I would have retired. What is this little snot-nosed guy going to tell Lane Johnson? Move your foot?
Lane doesn't need coaching. Ask Stoutland. He wasn't coaching Lane up every day.
Oh.
He was coaching up what's the kid's name? Hinton. And Williams and Trevor Keegan, who never did shit.
Chris Cooper's going to have his first offensive line meeting. There's Jordan Mailata. There's fucking Lane Johnson. And there's Landon Dickerson. And here comes a fraternity kid with his Izod fucking shirt sitting in the front row going, hey, guys, you got to move your feet more.
Dude, this guy played 79 games in the league. You think he doesn't know anything? If I'm him, I'm telling Tyler Steen, sit down and shut the hell up, guy. You'd be lucky to have my career.
Hold on. 79 games. That's a really great job. I'm talking about Jordan Mailata and fucking Lane Johnson.
Is Marshall making crap up, or did they hire someone? Marshall, you didn't just lie to me, dude.
Just hired an assistant head coach.
I don't get that job role. What does that mean?
Like
a literal personal assistant?
No. What it is so you can hire somebody off somebody else's coaching staff. Like say you have say you are an assistant quarterback coach, okay? For you to have a lateral move, you've got to go like this. He's an assistant quarterback coach, an assistant to the head coach. He's like an assistant head coach. You have to like elevate.
So you can avoid, you mean, them jumping.
You can't make lateral moves under contract.
Right.
That's why you can't poach like you can't go like this. Hey, I love that coordinator that's sitting there. You just can't go unless that contract is up. Or what you do is you name him the assistant head football coach. That's how you can go. Want to name him the assistant head coach. Now, I don't know how many of those you can have.
I got a question for you. How about this? And a little switcheroo on the National Football Show. Dan Sileo. Will Nick Sirianni be the head coach on February 11th of 2027?
No. Because I don't think
follow up. You want to elaborate before I follow up?
Let me elaborate, because I don't think this is going to work. I don't think this is going to work. Now, I'm putting all of it on the line here in February.
You reserve the right to change it. This is a question for me. This is not a bold take by you or anything like that.
I think John's in my boat too. I just don't think this is going to work.
He has more in your boat. My follow-up question is this. Dan Sileo. I don't call you that very often. Will Jalen Hurts be the starting quarterback or the presumed starting quarterback February 11th, 2027?
Okay, so if you fire Nick, you blow out the entire offensive staff.
But you probably blow out the entire staff.
Right. You're gonna blow.
Because Vic will probably retire.
You're gonna blow everything. Plus, you're losing Vic on the other side. Presumably, you're gonna lose Lane. Would you agree this is probably Lane's last year?
I think it's Vic's last year too.
I think Hurts goes into 27 with if he has another start to the season, he'll be out by the end of 27. I don't think it's the beginning of 27. I think it'll be the end of 27 that they get rid of him.
Me too. I don't think it's one more year. I think it's 2 more years at least.
Yeah. I think they'll move off of him, and that would mean that too, that he's not playing well this coming year, 26. I think if he goes in there, say they go 8-9, okay, they go 8-9 this year, or they go 7-10, it'll be the beginning of the end, and they'll bench him by week 5 or 6 of next year, and it'll be a complete Doug Peterson last season like that. And I think there'll be a new coach. The funny thing would be, if you had to replace Nick, who would you replace him with? What style of coach would you replace him with? Because if you're going to –
if this doesn't work.
What style of coach are you going to replace him with? Are you going to replace him with a defensive-minded guy because you lose Vic? Or are you going to replace him with a coach?
Yeah, what are they going to – in other words, are they going to hire another West Coast offense scheme?
Yeah. Without that West Coast quarterback?
I'll tell you what, guys.
I
will tell you what.
Content.
If this team isn't building this thing this year exactly like that, how many times have you heard Sileo and I say, boom or bust,
oh yeah,
fire and ice, either really good or really bad?
Yep.
This season fits that description to a T. It's either going to be great or it's going to be a colossal failure.
Do you think that they would bring in? Let's play the game here with me. Say Justin Herbert gets to the AFC Championship game.
Which I think he could, by the way.
Okay. Well, then here. And let's say this thing, because I'm with John. I don't believe this is going to work. Nick gets blown out. Would you bring Mike McDaniel in as the head football coach, as the play caller?
I don't think Mike would want to work here. He didn't want to be the coordinator here. Why would he want to be the head coach here?
Because of Howie. Bro, Howie makes the boo-boo go away.
But dude, you just got done talking about, and I agree with you, how you have to be a head coach in this city. You can't be a head coach like people are used to being head coaches. Don't get asked to move mountains. Don't get asked for crazy things, extraordinary things. Doug said, can I pick the next offensive coordinator? I won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Hey, can I just pick my OC? Goodbye. Come on, man.
I wonder if you could talk Tomlin.
I
wonder if you could talk Tomlin out of retirement.
No way. Tomlin come here to be bossed around by Lurie and Howie and Lurie's son? Are you kidding me? Mike Tomlin runs his organization for good or for bad. He's not doing that. And by the way, the Eagles don't want that because they want control, dude. Why do you think it's a trend in Philly? They always hire the name, and people give them credit for it because sometimes it works out. They always hire the name nobody thinks about. Why? They always hire the OC nobody thinks about. They hired Mannion, who nobody's freaking heard of. They hired Sirianni when nobody heard of him. They hired Doug when he was a quarterback's coach. They hired, Andy when nobody knew who it was.
Would you hire Lane Kiffin?
Lane Kiffin's another guy who wouldn't work here well. Who wouldn't work very well here.
Why? How do you know he hasn't grown as a guy?
I love Lane Kiffin. I think he's great, but he's not gonna coach offense in Philly.
No, I'm talking head coach, like that kind of guy.
I know what you're asking. I don't think so. I think but wait, real quick. He is literally the king of the castle.
Oh, completely.
In Louisiana. He's
got $14 million a year.
He's got the women. He's got the money. He's got the yoga. He's got the recruiting class, the NIL dollars. He's got full control of the program.
$14 million a year he makes.
You think he wants to come and answer to Julie and Lurie?
No.
Come on, Sills.
No, I'm staying in my own moat too. At LSU, you're the king of your own moat.
Exactly.
Nobody. I wonder what that would look like because there's no question this is swing or miss here this year. Why would they go to this extreme? Dude, I can't believe an organization that is so, they practice risk averse. And then they fucking this is not risk averse. This is like sink or swim.
Well, you're playing risk averse. You can't do everything risk averse or else you're really going to be cooked.
All right.
I don't live my life risk averse. I live my life on the edge. All right. I live as risky as you could get. All right. In other words, every time I call my accountant, he's like, "You're fucking nuts," and he hangs up on me. So I live my life risky. I'm not a risk averse kind of guy. I don't. You know what? And I love it that way. I would much rather live with my ass exposed than hidden away for good. That's just the way I roll. So not my style.
Yeah, I guess I can understand that. Exactly. All right, I can. All right, what are you going to do in the draft here, guy? Let me give you some names. Ready? These are my 10 dudes. Ruben Bain, number 1. I think he's the best player in the draft.
He's a stud.
I got the kid Reese, linebacker, Ohio State. Not a need for the Eagles. I got the kid Bailey, number 3, edge, Texas Tech. Caleb Downs, who was a former Bama guy who transferred up to OSU. That kid, I can't believe he got out of Alabama. Was it because Saban left?
Who?
Downs?
Yeah, he left.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Caleb Downs. I got Jeremiah Love, running back at 5. I got Tate, wideout, 6, OSU. I got Styles, LB, OSU. Got Lemon, wide receiver, USC, 8. I got Mansour Delane, quarterback, LSU, 9. And I got Francis Magala, offensive tackle, Miami, at number 10. Now, those are the 10 best players, in my opinion, which, by the way, since I've been on JAKIB, I've been pretty much a grand slam fucking knocking out of the park when it comes to talent evaluating with guys that I say that will be good players. I mean, we've been pretty much right on with these guys. Here are the Eagle 6 that I have. Have you started looking at the draft yet?
Yeah. A little bit. I'm not where I want to be with it yet, but I'm getting there.
Okay.
I've been reading all the reports and everything. And remember, I watch a lot of college football.
I know
so
you're
I do know most of the guys. Like, for people who never watch college, it's a tough process. I know most of the Power 5 guys.
I completely will vouch for that you are a college dude.
Yeah, for sure.
There's people in Philly who are not.
No, it's more uncommon. They're Penn State people here is what they are.
Yeah, there are a lot of Penn State, Notre Dame folks here. I got Cotton Hood, cornerback Tennessee. I've got Caden Proctor, O-line Bama. Zion Young, edge Missouri. Jordan Tyson, wide receiver Arizona State, depending on what you do with AJ. I got Howe, edge A&M. And I got Kendra Siddick, tight end, Oregon. Those are my Eagles 6. One of those 6 guys, in my opinion, will be taken by the Eagles. Which one of area of need, or is it still too early yet in deciding what to figure out? Now, if we're going by Lane, bro, I'm not. Do you draft Lane's replacement now? And do you play him at guard? Let him battle with Tyler Steen?
Maybe. Remember, though, the changes to the O-line coach, that make a big difference.
Completely.
Like John's ready. He was like, early, he was like, I'd draft, like, if they draft Proctor, that makes sense. You can play him at guard and then slot him to right tackle. And Lane goes, I don't know if that's the guy, a 6'7", whatever Caden Proctor is, playing guard anymore. You're playing West Coast offense, presumably. I don't think you want a guard that size in there.
No. But here's the problem that you have with the O-line that you have. Now, dude, Jordan Mailata can play fullback for you. He's so talented and such an athlete, right? The problem that you have, Alex Gibb is a former offensive line coach, Xander. I don't know if you ever heard the name.
Yeah, I know.
He coached the Broncos back with those back-to-back Super Bowl championship teams. There wasn't an lineman over 300 pounds. They were 290, 285, 275, and they were guys who were just exceptionally athletic. You've got to have, like, Mekhi Becton won't work with this new O-line guy. Like, thinking of having him back, that's out. So do you hedge a year and wait till next year when he officially retires, or do you try to bring a guy in now? Don't you need a player to play today instead of next year?
I mean, technically, the 5 starters are under contract this year.
Well, then why don't you punt that down the line?
Well, I just think you're getting into risky territory to think if you don't have a contingent. I mean, remember that something that's been widely reported is they have been trying to get a replacement for Lane in the last several drafts. And the board didn't fall their way. A couple things happened in the recent drafts. I think they wanted that Patano guy. There's a couple guys they wanted, and it didn't end up that way. So I just think you're skating. I mean, every year closer to Lane retiring, I think the layer of ice you're skating on gets thinner. Anybody ever played pond hockey? One of my favorite things to do when I was younger was play pond hockey. You better check that ice, man. If that ice gets too thin, you're going to end up at the bottom of the creek, man, and you're not going to have a way out. So that ice gets thinner every year. How thin you want to go? I don't know, brother. I don't know.
So wouldn't you say this then? You got to find how do you think you're going to win football games next year in 26? Offensively or defensively? This year you won defensively.
Yeah, I think it's going to be defensively again, but I'm hopeful that the offense can have, a much more significant impact on the team this year, on the success than they did this year. Much bigger impact on the success of the team.
Well, then doesn't it make sense, Xander, for me to go like this and get a defensive guy that can make an impact? Then go offense?
Well, it does, but where do you think? Edge or safety or corner?
I think corner.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that I think corner is a little bit of a stretch is just because of Kuper and Quignon, but they're 2 years down, so you're going to have some leeway. You're probably going to be able to get another contract done for Kuper before you even have to worry about paying the new guy. So I could see that.
You think Howie's going to be more active in free agency or the draft?
The draft again. I don't think they're going to go and spend a boatload of money. I really don't. I think it's another pseudo maintenance year type of thing.
Another Chimu year.
I don't know if it's to that level. I think it's somewhere in the middle.
Okay. I've got an A.J. Brown question here. By the way, we'll read these supers in a second. Battle Royale will happen. And also, Adam Kaplan today at 5:30. He will join us. So let me go here. How do you make AJ? Do you believe that getting rid of AJ Brown could actually be in the best interest of the team? Is there any way you see moving off of him as a positive?
I see moving off of him as a positive if the player, is so consumed personally that it takes away from the team. Remember, this is a team game it's made up of talented individuals, but it's a team football game. And I'm a big AJ Brown guy. How many times have you heard me defend AJ? And I never wanted him out and all that, and I still don't want him out. But I will say this. I'm not going to deny my eyes. All right. His lack of focus, his problems with the offense, his gripes for however valid they might have been, impacted the team negatively. He dropped footballs in the biggest game of the year. He didn't give 110% effort on every play. Herb Brooks, I said the quote this morning, you give 99%, you make my job very easy. Did A.J. Brown give 110% on every play? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. And even on plays where the ball was coming his way. So don't hit me with nobody gives 100% as a receiver when they're blocking. I'm not talking about blocking. I'm talking about when the ball was coming at him. So if you're going to do that, then just save us it. Yeah, it's going to be hard to replace you, but we don't need that. That's not going to help.
Before we get to the supers here, I want to ask this last one then. Do you believe that Devontae Smith could take over the role of number one?
I think that's a tough one. I think I love Devontae, but I said it to you yesterday. I've been, perhaps it's unrealistic expectation, but I've been waiting for Devontae to become like.
Well, then doesn't this make sense in a West Coast offense? He fits better.
So you think he hasn't become the guy because of the opportunity as opposed to the skill set?
Completely. I think he's a number two, and I think he's been in that role. Well, Xander, what was the draft pick? You drafted him 11th or 12th? 10th. Fuck, man. I mean, either you.
That's why I said to you yesterday, I'm an Alabama guy and a Smitty
where
guy.
was CeeDee Lamb drafted? CeeDee Lamb wasn't the 10th pick.
He was, I think, 19th or 20th, right before the Eagles picked Rager, remember?
This is 10th.
Remember the Eagles passed on CeeDee Lamb to draft Jalen Rager?
Oh, hey, Xander, he's 10th. Don't you think the guy's got to take the number one role eventually?
CeeDee Lamb draft. No, they didn't pass on CeeDee. CeeDee was 17th overall in 2020.
Okay.
Jalen Rager was 21.
Now, again, CeeDee's more in the slot. I get all that. But when does Devontae become the number one?
He's a better receiver. Forget where they line up. He's a flat-out receiver.
He's a better receiver.
I don't even think it's close.
So then Devontae was overdrafted.
I mean, you can make that argument. I think he's been a pretty good player for the 10th overall pick, but, is he the best 10th overall pick ever? No.
The 10th overall pick's the number two still after 5 years?
Do you think he could be the one? Or do you think that'd be a pretty weak receiving group?
I think if you had Justin Herbert as your quarterback, he'd be spectacular. I think in what you're going to attempt to do with a run guy, I don't think he's that guy. You've got to be a CD would be great in this offense. You know why? Because you can move him in multiple places. Slot, Y, Z. In West Coast offenses.
He already does that in Dallas, and he gets the ball. He wouldn't get the ball.
I'm saying that. Let's quickly read these supers here.
We can do them after if you want.
We can.
All right, we'll do a couple. Sills, I take off Jordan, Tyson, and Sadiq. I think they're going top 15. I put in Boston and Lomo. I do like both those guys, Boston and Lomo.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
I'm with you. All right, a couple more we'll get to. Hangry Dogs, over the cap date, says Lane is due $23 million in cash. Yeah, he's getting paid a lot this year.
Oh,
Marshall,
absolutely.
his name is Cole Peter. Cole's been here a while, Marshall. Cole was the assistant head coach last year. I don't know if they elevated him to another role, but he's been the assistant head coach there. I think last year was his first year, but he's been here. Mr. Hill, Nick saved Bobo. He is going to be swooping 26. Here's Marsh. Eagles just hired an assistant to the head coach. Oh, yeah, no. Cole Peterson is not becoming the head coach of the Eagles, Marshall. I know you hate Nick, but can you persuade Frank to take Bobo now, Sills? That would be great. Here's Henry Dogs. Did the 4-win O-line look more like the 25 O-line? This is why Howie and Timu Budget need to take accountability. I don't know. You're talking about the 2020 O-line. That was pretty bad, bro.
It was, man. They were trash cans blocking.
This O-line might have been bad. They were not that bad.
Yeah,
I don't even think close, to be frank.
No
Mikey
way.
Shred, 6 teams in the first round are eliminated every year. I've never seen an organization like Philly fire coaches at the rate they do. They expect Super Bowl every year. Jeez.
Great.
Marshall says, proud Nick hater right here, front and center. He is a tool.
How you doing?
Well, we didn't start winning. Marsh, when Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni showed up, 11 wins was considered catastrophic in the city of brotherly love. That didn't happen until those 2 guys showed up.
Hey,
all right, Howie's been here. Lury's been here.
Well, I got to tell you, man, if I'm Mark Holmes, I'm feeling pretty good about the last 2 Super Bowls. I'm watching two good quarterbacks, Hurts and Sam Darnold, win. I think it goes to Mark Holmes's take. You have to have an organization around Dak Prescott.
Yeah, but it also goes to the point of that, we get engrossed and entrenched in quarterbacks and offense. It's not all that, dude. You need a great team. You need a great defense.
That's right. But that goes to Mark's take about Dak.
See, I actually think Philly should be feeling better than Mark, because if anything, we've proven again that offense is a little overrated. The Cowboys were the best offense in football this year. They didn't even sniff January.
Okay, but what I'm saying is you don't have to have an elite guy at the position to win.
I know that. I think Dak's pretty good quarterback.
Well, I'm sorry?
I think Dak's a pretty damn good quarterback.
That's a great quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I think he is.
He is a great quarterback.
I know Philly doesn't like to hear that, but I think if Philly 500 took truth serum, he would say, yeah, Dak is good. Yeah. Now, where Philly's right is he does choke every December. I mean, it's like clockwork. They don't do shit in the playoffs. 2 wins in 12 years is insane, or whatever it is. So
I don't know,
that's
man.
the truth, but he can play ball. He can definitely.
He looks like he's in Dracula's cave right now. So we'll be
taking shots like that. All right, I'm out of here, dude. Later.
All right, big guy, man. Well, hey, keep it up, man. John's throwing nuggets, by the way, at 365. So make sure you guys catch him. Bro, talk to you in the morning, man.
Later, bro. Later.
You got it. Yeah, one thing that got basically solidified with Mark Holmes and myself, Sam Darnold and Jalen Hurts are the last 2 quarterbacks to win Super Bowls. Those guys aren't they're not better than Dak Prescott. Who in the world thinks that Sam Darnold, who was on 5 fucking football teams, is better than Dak Prescott? That's what we're doing here. Oh, yeah, by the way, I got criticized the last time because I was throwing snowballs at Mark and I was throwing hand grenades at 500. Without further ado, 2 of my friends. By the way, Adam Kaplan will join us at 5:30. Don't forget that. We bring in one of the great Dallas Cowboy content creators, our friend Mark Holmes, and we bring in the legend himself, Philly 500. He joins us now here. How you doing, guys?
Doing great. Thank you for having us on.
Doing really good.
Mark, what did you learn about the Super Bowl on Sunday? What was your first initial takeaway?
First initial takeaway is defense is rather important when it comes to winning Super Bowls. Philadelphia definitely had it last year. You can see Seattle literally just shut out New England in that first half, and they did not turn over the football, which ended up leading to, a Super Bowl win. Shout out to Seattle, which did not have a turnover throughout the playoffs. First time ever.
Absolutely. So, Philly, what did you – I have to be – no snowballs here. So, here, Billy, what is your takeaway from Super Bowl 60? What did you learn about Seattle with their 5-stop quarterback? I'm sorry I added that.
It's funny because you want to talk about, this guy's such a great quarterback and he's better than these guys. But there's something to be said about playing a big game in the moment. Sanders says Philly 500 doesn't think Dak's a good. No, I think Dak is a good quarterback. That's never been the issue. The issue is he comes up short in the big moments. The one thing you could say about Darnold, he didn't. He proved that he could play in a high-pressure moment and situation. No turnovers, the whole playoffs. That's pretty good. Same thing with Jalen Hurts. It's not about who's always the better quarterback talent-wise. It's about who can come up in the big games, in the big moments, who takes advantage of it. That's the argument.
I might have to just kind of throw a little bit into this. Because they were able to run the football and because their defense was playing so great, it didn't end up being where he had to go ahead and throw and score every single time they got the football. They were up 6-0 at the half. New England had 53 yards. I dare say there's a lot of quarterbacks that are put in that situation where their running game is going really well. They're probably not going to throw a lot of interceptions or fumble the football.
But how about this too, Mark? Go ahead, Philly. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but it doesn't mean just because they don't throw 30 times or 40 times, it's that one throw on that 3rd and 13 in the fourth quarter with 48 seconds left, and you need a first down.
The more you go, okay, but you have lulled the defense to sleep. They know they're running the football against us. We got to stop the run. We're not worried about it. So when it does happen, oh shit, he's actually throwing the football. It's a surprise, as opposed to knowing every single time you got to throw the football because they can't run the football.
But that all helps.
You can play more
still have to go out
when you have a great defense.
Sure you can, but you still have to make the throws when you have to make them. When your name is called, you have to make the throw. You have to make the play. You can say Darnold didn't have to do much in that Super Bowl game, but what about the NFC Championship game?
He did.
Okay.
He did. What did he do? He had to show up. It's not about how good you are. It's about, can you play at a high level in pressure moments?
Don't you take this into account? So he was 50% in that game. He was 19 of 38. He didn't have to do anything.
I didn't think he was good.
No. I thought, gets this. I didn't think he was special. I didn't think he was anything. But you know what afforded that ability? The same thing that Hurts has been afforded. You know what that is?
Sure.
If you have a great run game and a great defense, your quarterback doesn't have to be exceptional.
Of course it helps. Nobody's saying
that has to be exceptional in Dallas because of the shitty
not
defense.
For 11 years, Sills. Not for every single season when he's got all those games where he's the 1 seed, the 2 seed. He had it and he didn't come up with it at all.
Wait. I will ask this question though, Mark.
Okay.
If you watch a guy like Sam Darnold win the Super Bowl, if you're a Cowboy fan, you got to be like this. Holy shit, this guy, nobody would ever constitute that guy as being an elite guy. He's a good player. He's not great.
I agree with you.
How do you not go like this? Fuck, man. Are you kidding me?
I actually look at it differently. Here's how I look at it and say, well, damn, if we didn't have a defense that gave up fucking 31 points a game, maybe we would have won a lot of those games. It's not the same style of play that Seattle is going. Yeah, we're going to score some points. But if we can get a defense with that offense we have, we will definitely be better, a hell of a lot better. I mean, hell, we did beat the defending Super Bowl champions last year.
You did. All right, Philly. Let me ask this one to you. Hey, man,
that's not that big of a slate. I mean, Dallas didn't beat us because Dallas was better. We beat ourselves. I mean, how many games did we give up leads? I mean, that was just something we did.
Hey, Philly, I want you to help me out on this. What are you doing? Like, what are they doing here you're going to try to run a West Coast offense with a non-West Coast coaching with a non-West Coast quarterback and assume he can do it. You have fired the entire offensive staff except the wide receiver and running back coach. Got a new pass coordinator, got a new run coordinator. All these guys have no experience, basically. They're all young dudes. What are they doing, man? I mean, I've been asking this question for 3 days. Tell me what they're doing.
We wanted a new offense. We wanted it to look different. We wanted change. Well, we're getting it. Now, whether it works or whether it's the right move, time will tell. But we got to give it a chance. It's impossible for me to sit there and tell you this is how it's going to look. This is how these guys are going to be. I don't know. I don't know enough about these coaches. We've got to wait and see. But I tell you what, I'm so happy they're doing it because one way or the other, we're going to sink or swim with this coach and with this quarterback. I'm tired of the same thing every week not working. So I welcome it. But I think, gotta be a little patient about it. And we gotta at least give the guy a chance. I gotta give the offensive coordinator a chance. You know what I mean? This is what I wanted. I wanted the handcuffs off of Hurts. I wanted it.
So you're giving the benefit of the doubt then?
I don't know about benefit of the doubt, but I gotta wait and see. You know, I've got to wait and see.
Do you think Nick Sirianni would be the head football coach by the end of 26?
I think it's going to depend on how the offense goes. I really think that the reason why Lurie and Howie allow all this to happen is because I think they're basically telling Nick, you know, do or die. You know, no more excuses, no more putting on. You had talent around you. Now you got to go do something. So we'll see.
Mark, all the changes on defense, almost a complete change. Offense was changed in Philly. Defense was changed, wasn't it? In Dallas, brand new defensive coaching staff. What are you expecting this coming year with the Cowboys defensively?
Well, we gave up the most points in the NFL, so we got nowhere to go but up. When you look at Christian Parker, highly respected, the more things we end up seeing, it's like, I don't know how you Eagles ended up letting him go, especially with Vic Fangio kind of talking about retirement, that he could have been the heir apparent. But putting together a staff, much like we just said, Nick Sirianni, it's basically you gonna live and die by what he does. With Christian Parker, they're giving him full latitude to basically put together his staff of like-minded, teaching type guys. And so the hope is they're going to be able to take the pieces that they have. We've got a pretty good defensive front, and we have a lot of raw talent. So when you think about somebody like Overshown, when you think about somebody like Savon Ravel, that the hope is that they're able to coach them up to being really good players, because you're going to have to either go deep into free agency or you're going to need to trade back with one of those picks to try and get more draft capital. The thought in this draft right now is there's not a lot of great players in this. There's a lot of mediocre talent. And it may end up being that they do trade that pick, you know, the rumors are for Max Crosby. So if you get a guy like Max Crosby to add to that front and maybe some other free agents, you never know. It can definitely be improved.
For all the questions you're going to ask about the Eagles offensive coordinator and their coaches offensively, you can say the same thing about the Cowboys defensively.
Yes, of course.
Because they haven't called any.
Agreed.
So they're in the same predicament, just different sides of the ball.
Absolutely.
And with a lot less a lot less talent.
But
the Eagles were better off in that way.
But Philly, you're changing it out with 11 wins and winning the NFC East. They're changing it out with an under 500 record and lesser talent.
It just shows you we're on different levels.
Yours is a course change. Do you guys agree?
It shows you we're on different levels. We operate, the Eagles and Cowboys operate different levels. We are operating at the level of we win Super Bowl championships. We compete for Super Bowls. Dallas, they want to get to the playoffs. That's all. It's two different. We're on two different levels. They're not on our level.
There is one thing that you have to keep in mind with the NFL is I don't believe anybody going into this time last year thought Seattle or New England were going to be in the Super Bowl and that Kansas City wasn't going to be in the playoffs. Things change quickly. Teams rise and fall. You know, look at where Washington was last year this time and where they are now. You could end up being that with all of the turmoil and everything else, you could be in the scrap heap like some of the teams right there. Now, that's not to say you can't be great. Who knows? Nobody really knows.
Mark, I'm going to tell you, I think the Eagles are between 7 and 9 wins this coming year.
But I'll tell you what, one thing remains consistent. December comes.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Every December, I know that's going to happen.
All right.
It don't change.
Lane Johnson is reportedly coming back, but I'll ask you, Philly, what version of Lane Johnson comes back?
Depends on the injury. If he's healthy and recovered. Yeah, I mean, the way he was playing before, the one guy on the offensive line I thought was solid was Lane Johnson, even though we were struggling. So I think if Lane comes back and he can play, and I expect him to, I still think it'll be at a really high level.
A.J. Brown coming back?
Yeah, I think so. I think AJ's coming back. I think it's just going to cost too much to move him. And I think at the end of the day, you're not going to get the value that you would want in trading him. You're better off just keeping him on your team.
Mark, what are you going to do in the draft this coming April here? What's the area of need? Is it defense, or is anything to do with what you're going to do with Pickens? It looks like you're going to put the tag on him. By the way, that's quite an expensive number that you're going to use on that tag to get George Pickens. But, dude, Pickens and CD and Dak were a force last year in the passing game.
They truly were.
Do you go O-line or do you go defense?
Well, the interior of our offensive line is good between Tyler Smith, Kuper BB, and Tyler Booker. Problems are, I pretty much think that Terrence Steele is going to be gone. He's an $18 million hit. He's not worth that. And Tyler Guyton is a big question mark. I think that the Cowboys, though, will probably roll the dice on the offensive line and look at the offense and say, they're good enough. They did what they did last year with what we had right here. We have to improve our defense. And so I believe they're going to definitely go defense first. And I think they'll probably go cornerback with the first pick. Maybe if they don't try and trade for Crosby, it sounds like it's going to be a bidding war. If it is open and the Cowboys don't like to get in bidding wars, that they probably will try and move back and create some more picks with it. There's not, unless there's somebody who really falls that you say we can't live without. With this draft being kind of a bunch of guys that are all kind of clumped together, it behooves you to move back and try and get another second-round pick or a third-round pick out of it.
Philly, where do you think the Eagles go here now? You got some decisions that you're going to make here. Obviously, it looks like Lane's coming back. Do you draft for his replacement, or do you go all defense? Do you go secondary? Do you go edge? Are you going depth? Where do you think Philly and Howie goes? Because there's a new approach happening on offense here. They're going to try to spread the ball out. Do you go another wideout if you're going to eventually move off of A.J. Brown? Where do you think they go?
Well, I think the one thing we don't know is the offense, right? Are there offensive players that they want to go out and get that they think will fit their system better? So we have to wait and see there. But I tend to think you're going to see the draft heavy on offense, and I think free agency is going to be heavy on defense. I actually think that the Eagles are going to make a strong play to go out and get an elite pass rusher. I think that they want an elite pass rusher. I think part of that will be with if Jalen Phillips comes back or not. But, you look, they tried to get Myles Garrett last offseason. Then they tried to trade for Micah Parsons. Then they tried to go out and get Myles Garrett again at the deadline. I think this team is going to go out and get themselves I think the big splash is going to be a free agent elite pass rusher. And then I think they're going to come back, and I think in the draft you're going to see heavy offense early. That's how
Would you make of the rumors that the Dallas Cowboys wanted Jalen Carter, and Micah Parsons came out and said that the Eagles put up Jalen Carter in a third for Micah Parsons? Parsons actually said that.
No. I was a little confused. Did Parsons say that the Eagles put Carter on the table? Because I'd have a hard time believing that. Or that's what the Cowboys wanted. Because I have a hard time believing the Eagles would give up, a first-round pick and Carter for him.
Mark, wasn't it? What didn't Micah say that it was a 1, a 3, and Jalen Carter?
I'm going to say this because Micah Parsons, the day that this came through and he was traded to Green Bay, I'm shocked that this all happened. So now we're hearing Micah Parsons basically saying that, oh, yeah, I was almost going to go ahead and get traded to Philly, but Jalen Carter was going to be in the mix to go to Dallas, and I wouldn't play without Jalen Carter. So wait a minute. It's like, so after all of the animosity between everybody, you're the one that nixed this deal? So I wouldn't put a lot of stock into exactly what Micah Parsons said. I think what Micah Parsons is trying to do is he's trying to hurt his ex-girlfriend, okay? He's trying to make him feel bad by trying to go with her girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what, if for some reason it was Carter, a first, and a third, right? for Micah, then Dallas would be stupid not to.
I would agree with that, but I would find it
that
hard.
Would have been stupid.
I would find it hard to believe that the Eagles would end up putting up something like that.
I agree.
Billy, I'm not making a deal like that in division. I mean,
I ain't sweating it.
I'm not making a deal like that in my division.
That's to me. That's more than they got at Green Bay. I would do that move if I was Dallas. I don't think the Eagles did it. Maybe Dallas wanted Carter. Maybe they wanted Carter, but I don't believe that was real.
Yeah, I have to agree with. For once, I have to agree with Philly 500 because Dallas said all along they were trying to get Quentin Williams before the season. That their whole thing is we want a defensive tackle. So if the Eagles called, they would have said, "Hey, yeah, we'll trade Micah Parsons, but we want Jalen Carter." But I don't think that the Eagles would look at this and say we're going to be a better team with Micah Parsons instead of Jalen Carter. I wouldn't even look at that.
Philly, do you think you should kick the can down the road on Jalen Carter and not sign him to a contract extension?
I mean, you could, but you risk, it costing you a lot more money. I mean, you definitely could. It wouldn't surprise me if they did that, by the way. I could see the Eagles doing that, but I don't think they will, but who knows? I mean, I think you got to sign him and Jordan Davis, though. I think they both must be signed at some point.
Should you give Jalen Hurts a contract extension now in this offseason?
I mean, I would have to look at I'd have to look. I don't have the cap numbers in front of me or what they're going to be, but yeah, I mean, you could.
It's one of the big debates right now, Mark. It's one of the big debates in Philly right now whether or not to give Jalen Hurts a contract extension. I'm sorry, finish what you said.
I probably would do it if I could. Yeah,
even with the new offensive directional change.
Yeah.
Mark, what would you do with Jalen? Would you give him a contract extension?
I mean, you're looking at his numbers right now. I mean, he's a $31 million cap hit next year, 42 the year after, 47 the year after that.
No rush.
I mean, well, the rush would be is how much more will eventually go through. Eventually, the dam's going to break on Dak Prescott being the highest paid. When you start hearing about cornerbacks maybe getting, 35, 36 million, everybody's number is going to go up and you're going to be looking and all of a sudden it's going to explode. So the Eagles typically have been proactive in signing guys sooner than later. Landon Dickerson, after 3 years, didn't they sign him to his new contract? Because they want to get ahead of it. So I can see the philosophy. And
he was a second round pick though too, so you had to do it a year early.
Right. So I can understand why they would, but I don't think that they really would right now because you're not really gaining a whole lot of cap space. Like I said, a cap number of 31 million
right now. Yeah,
he's a 31 million. I'd be happy with 31 million as a cap hit for you.
Yeah, I think you could wait probably a couple years.
I'm not giving that guy a contract extension. Not when I just watched Sam Darnold at $33 million win a Super Bowl. Mark, I think that Super Bowl has changed people's way of thinking because I brought this up I brought this up all week and all weekend long. Dude, Philly, why would I pay $50-60 million for a fucking quarterback when I just watched a guy with a $33 million tag go win a Super Bowl? Let me go build my roster. I mean, Josh Allen, he's one of the greatest talents there is in the game. And you've got
Pat Mahomes. Lamar Jackson.
Bro, there's very few people. Those guys are special guys, but you got to put Mark, you put Juju Smith-Schuster around Patrick Mahomes, and you think he's going to win multiple Super Bowls with Juju Smith-Schuster? You're not.
He did.
He won. Yeah, but guess what? What happened in the last one? You guys tore him a new one.
Yeah, but he
with
did.
The defense.
What I'm saying is I don't disagree with you, but there's two ways to look at it because you could look at it like it's a lot harder to go out and hit on all these draft picks and hit on all these free agent signings to build a complete roster to have an average quarterback. If you have a top quarterback who can make everybody better, then it gives you the ability to mess up here or there on your roster. So that's the appeal of the franchise quarterback. Otherwise, you got to hit on your picks. You've got to hit on everything. I don't think it's necessarily that easy.
Well, what it actually has done is, the NFL goes in trends. The trends was you've got to have a lights out quarterback and you got to be a house scoring offense, and defense was kind of like it didn't matter. Well, defenses have kind of caught up to the offense. They're getting around all of the illegal contacts and everything else. And defense is now becoming key. When you look at everybody who's been in the playoffs this year, nobody had a shit defense like the Cowboys. Defense does matter. And so you're going to see teams that are going to probably be trying to load up on their defense a lot more than usual. And that's the direction that the Cowboys are finally recognizing. Hey, every year we have a top 5 offense, but it hasn't done dick for us because our defense, when it comes to playoff time, is not good enough to go ahead and stop teams from being able to run.
Mark, how about this with Quinnen Williams? Are you guys going to extend him this offseason here, or are you going to wait another year or two? Because, again, if I'm not mistaken, I think right now your cap space is something like $29 million. You're probably going to release some players
here's the thing. Yeah, well, here's the thing. We're minus $29 million at the moment, but we've got 22 that'll roll over. You got 25 probably that's coming in the Ascension, and you've got triggers that could get you over $100 million. In fact, with Quinnen Williams, his contract is about
Kenny
20.
Clark.
Yeah, both of them are about 22 and I think $19 million. There are triggers in both of those contracts that you can flip that can get you about $20 million if you want to do that. I think Kenny Clark is probably more of the shorter term fix. I think Quentin Williams is the guy they want to look and get locked down for an extension on there to go ahead and create that space and look for him to be here for the next 3-4 years.
You think they restructured Dak, CD, and Tyler Smith?
Oh, without a doubt. With Dak, you got to. Dak is 78, and I think you get like 32 million with the restructure. CD is like 38, and you get 19 on the restructure. Basically, the difference between the Cowboys and the Eagles are the Eagles basically already account for the restructure in the contract when they sign a guy now.
With the
Cowboys basically have it the same type of numbers. They just have to flip the triggers when they decide to. And so when you have the triggers for, like, let's say DeRon Bland, you look at that and say, maybe we don't want to flip that because he may not be viable 2 years from now. So we'll hold on to that one. When you look at Dak, how he played this year, you look at it and say, yeah, I can see him playing another 2 or 3 years. You're okay flipping the trigger.
Couple last ones.
Flip that trigger, baby. Flip that trigger.
Flip the
trigger.
trigger.
Flip the trigger.
Basically, it's the same thing with Hurts. Hurts has got a $97 million hit in 28. You already have the triggers flipped. So it's the same deal.
I get it. I just think it's funny you keep saying triggers.
Hey, you think Devontae Smith could become a number one?
Do I think he can? Yeah, I do. I think Devontae.
So if you got rid of AJ Brown, you think Devontae could take that role?
Yeah, I do. The question is, who's going to take the other role? Who's going to take the second role? And if you're a guy like you who thinks Jalen can't do it on his own, then why are you going to go out and let AJ Brown go? You need all the talent you could get.
Do you know Jalen Hurts is one of the worst passing quarterbacks throwing across the middle of the field of any quarterback? Xander gave me a number of any quarterback in pro football. He is the worst quarterback at throwing across the middle of the field.
Damn.
And you want to extend a guy, and you want to change the offense and think the guy could throw.
Well, you asked me if I want to extend, I'd have to look at his. Like I said, I don't have his numbers in front of me. If you're telling me that over the course of the next 2-3 years his cap number is not that big, then why am I in a rush to extend him?
I got to tell you, Mark, one last one here. I'm starting to like Dak more and more. The more I talk to you, I'm liking Dak more and more, man. You know why? Because I get to see a real quarterback every fucking Sunday.
Oh shit!
And I don't
except for if he's in the red zone, right? Then it ain't too.
Oh wow!
You just like him because you know it drives me nuts.
Well, we all love that, Philly. This is true.
Tell me this.
You know,
has there
drives
ever
me up
been
a wall.
a player in pro football history that drives you nuts more than Dak Prescott?
Yeah, Phil McConkey.
Phil McConkey.
I couldn't stand that guy, dude.
Why Phil McConkey?
He just used to get on my nerves, dude. The guy
Giants,
would make like one catch, 5 yards, acting like he. I just
Giants, folks,
Yeah.
This guy had one play in the Super Bowl in Pasadena. He catches the touchdown pass, and that guy drives 500.
It drove me nuts.
More than that. Okay. All right.
Hey, is there one Philadelphia Eagle that drives you nuts, Mark Holmes?
Oh, shit. One that drives me nuts?
Ever. Has there been one Eagle to drive you nuts?
I'm going to say Jerome Brown, man, because he was so damn dominant, man. He was a killer. If you're not saying players, I'd have to say Buddy Ryan. If we're talking about coaches.
Is there one Cowboy that drives you nuts?
One?
All of them.
Oh, they all drive me nuts. The question is who doesn't drive me nuts? I tell you what, I mean, Emmitt Smith used to get on my nerves a lot. Jeez.
How about Irvin?
Eric, what was that? Dorsett used to get Tony Dorsett used to drive me nuts. Irvin used to drive me up a wall. But I like Irvin more after football.
Yeah.
Like when I get to know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Romo was like Dak. Like to me, Romo and Dak are exactly the same person. Like I don't see them any different. It's just a continuation. Two chokers that can't win shit, that everybody acts like they're the greatest thing in the world.
Mark, if you had to put your quarterback ranking between those two, Romo and Dak, who would you put? One or two? Romo or Dak?
Right now, they're neck and neck. I mean, technically, Dak's got better numbers. He'll own every Cowboys record.
If you had to have a 60-minute ball game, one, who would you take? Romo or Dak?
I'm going to have to say Dak.
I'm taking Quincy Carter. You guys.
he took Dak over Romo. I love it.
You know what, though? Hey, Mark, you know how you can always get to Philly about Jalen? Just ask him about Randall Cunningham or go Randall Cunningham or Hurts. He'll never take Hurts over Randall Cunningham.
I won't take anybody. I won't take Brady over him. Give me Randall all day.
You Randall's guys are awesome, man. I really appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much. Mark, continue great success. We'll talk again. Philly 500, we love you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you guys too. So much for doing that, man.
Thank you. All right.
You got it.
Peace.
No doubt. That is it right there. It's never a quiet time. When it's Cowboys and Eagles, it's never a quiet time. You know what, too? What I love about Mark always hangs out a little bit and see if someone talks shit to him because he's used to people talking shit to him because he's always in that conversation. He always goes, you don't think they're going to start talking shit on me when I leave the room? Absolutely not here. But wait, just 2 years ago, Dallas had Baby LT and Baby Primetime on defense. Don't move the goalposts. Those bastards cut them. And they didn't pay Super Bowl champion D-Law. Cowboys are turds. Let's see what else we got here. Big Marsh coming in again. Sam Darnold and DeMarcus Lawrence on defense, just like Dak. And Darnold made D-Law a champion. How you doing? Good stuff there, man. Yeah, I learned how to scroll, guys, just so you know. Sills, I'd take off Jordan Tyson and Shadiq. I think they're going to be in the top 15. I put in Boston and Lomu. Got you guys. Appreciate you guys very much. Please hit the like button here. Adam Kaplan is going to join us in a couple minutes. That'll be at the bottom of the hour. Let me pay some bills here. Our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. Folks, I tell you this, man, they started this company 25 plus years ago for a reason. And that was because John's brother got injured on the job. And this became a mission for those guys to make sure that they defend families across this great country of ours. #1 injury law firm. There is no firm like Morgan & Morgan. That family I told you in Pennsylvania, $650K they were initially offered. They ended up getting that family $26 million. Go to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Love 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Love 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sills sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Mm-hmm.
Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
Had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Adam Kaplan will join us at the bottom of the hour. Please hit the like button. We appreciate you guys very much. And Dolphins just hired Kevin Patullo. So he's leaving the building. Kevin Patullo. You got to hand it to Nick. Nick gave him a failsafe. Because that was we asked the question, what's Kevin Patullo's role going to be? So he goes down with the Dolphins. And let me see here. Let's see here with the Dolphins, with the new OC. Let's see here. Kevin Patullo, new OC. Let me see what the connections are. And I will tell you why this worked, if Nick helped him get the job. So Bobby Slowick is the new offensive coordinator. And they interviewed Bobby Slowick, I believe, by Zoom. So let's go Bobby Slowick and see what his history is. There's always Slowick, Bobby Slowick. Okay, here he is. Wow, is he young? Holy cow. There it is. So he was the offensive coordinator in 23 and 24 for the Houston Texans. He was the senior pass game coordinator in 25, an offensive coordinator currently now. And he was in San Francisco as the pass game coordinator in 22. I don't see where the connections are unless there's a Nick connection. or a Frank Reich connection? Yeah, they just hired him. Upon departure of the passing game coordinator, Mike LaFleur, Slowick took the responsibilities of the pass game coordinator in San Francisco. So it's got to be a Kyle Shanahan and a Mike Shanahan connection for him getting that job with Bobby Slowick. That's got to be Frank and Nick putting out feelers to get him that opportunity. Slowick, who is a defensive coordinator for the Calgary Stampeders, served as the defensive coordinator of the Bears, Cleveland, Green Bay, and the Denver Broncos, and the Montreal Alouettes. That was his dad. His dad was a defensive coordinator for the Broncos, the Packers, the Bears. I remember Bob Slowick. He was a defensive coordinator. So Nick did him a solid, man, by not firing him. Let's see here. Watch the Dolphins have a good offense. Well, who's their quarterback? Bobby, by the way, Adam Kaplan is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Okay? Oh, by the way, this came in from ESPN today, too. So ESPN ranked all 60 of the Super Bowls, and they ranked the Eagles' 2024 team 40th out of the 60 teams. 40th. So that's like bottom third? Okay? They had him 40th. I mean, I don't believe that. ESPN ranked the 2024 Eagles 40th out of the 60 Super Bowl teams. I think that was one of the best Super Bowl teams in the modern era. I mean, yeah, I don't agree with that. Sue, I would say this. Let me go to this list here of the Super Bowls. I'll ask Adam Kaplan that question. Okay? Super Bowl winners list. And I'll be fair. 2024 team. You beat Mahomes and Andy. Okay? Could they have beaten the Seattle team? They would have killed that Seattle team. The Kansas City team, they beat them. That Rams team that beat the Bengals, I think you beat that team. That Bucs team with that 24 team, I don't think you beat that Bucs team. I don't think you beat that 2020 Kansas City team with Tyreek Hill. I think you beat that Patriots team in 19. Funny, do you guys think would the 2024 team beat the 2017 Eagle team? Foles is a better quarterback in the pocket. He had a better performance. He beat Brady too. Nick Foles versus Jalen's performance. Foles' performance was better in the Super Bowl. Jalen's performance wasn't better than Nick. Man, that's a great question. Who wins in that game? The 2017 Eagles or the 24 Eagles? Man. 41-33. You can't get in a shootout with him. You're not going to score 30. You're not going to score 41 points on Vic. But then again, he scored 41 points on Belichick. And hey, for the record, Belichick's a better defensive coach than Vic is. You'd be crazy to think that Vic Fangio's a better coordinator than Bill Belichick. He's not. Hey, you know what? You guys make sure you ask J-Mac that. You think that Vic is a better D coordinator than Bill Belichick. That's a no. Okay? Yeah. Well, Bill's got 8 rings. Okay, 2 as a DC. Got lit up as a D coordinator? What game was that? What game was Bill Belichick as a D coordinator lit up on when he was in New York? I must have missed that. I mean, those defenses never got lit up. Those defenses lit people up. Those are some of the greatest defenses of all. Let me say this to you. That 24 Eagle defense was really good. LT defense fucking never happened. They were never in the room with that. Dude, the defense, the linebacking core itself, almost every guy in that linebacking core is a Hall of Fame player. Shit, you can make the argument Leonard Marshall's a Hall of Fame player. He's just not in yet. Hey, good for him, man. That's good. We already saw what it looked like with Smitty and no AJ. No, thank you. Need him to stay. Yeah, that 17 offense with Nick throwing the ball around the yard. Dude, the guy won 6 Super Bowls. What are you talking about? 17 Eagles lit Bill up. How about this one too? Yeah, you say this and get this. The following year, you guys were 7-9. And Belichick went back to the Super Bowl and held that Rams team to 3 points. And you were 7-9. Look at this number here. What the Patriots did. The Patriots went to 3 straight Super Bowls. They won in 17. They lost to you guys and then went back in 18. 3 straight years they were in the game. And really, here, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 5 years, the Patriots went to 4 Super Bowls. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Super Bowls in 5 years with 1, 2, 3 wins. They were 3-1 in that 5-year span. That's the best of the Patriots right there. From 15 to 19. That was the heyday of that dynasty. Because they went to, like I said, they went to 4 Super Bowls and won 3 of them. The comeback against the Falcons, they win that Super Bowl in overtime. They lost the next year to the Eagles. Holy cow, did they really go to that many in a row? That's phenomenal. Just and that's Bill. We were 7-9. Almost went to the NFC title game. That's right. That was the Alshon Jeffries dropped. Jason, that was the Alshon Jeffries drop, right? In New Orleans. Right? It was the AFC Championship. No, it was the divisional game that you guys were in. But Tulo getting a job right away tells you the world around the league is hurt stinks. I don't think it says that. I think these guys are all plugged in. And what happens is guys pick the phone up. Nick picked the phone up. Nick picked the phone up and called people and got him a job. He didn't want to stay in Philly. He kept him on the roster, kept him on the coaching staff until he got a job. Most of the time, guys get fired or walk out the building like Stoutland. By the way, we're going to find out what happened with Jeff Stoutland. I think Adam Kaplan has an interesting story coming up. So we're going to find out a little bit because, he knows Jeff Stoutland very well. So let me double check to see if everything's still on pace here. Let's see here. Just got a message. We're all good, I believe. Just double checking here. Good. Okay. Yeah, that's not on Hurts. 2018, after we won, we went 9-7. And Alshon dropped. Yes, I remember that. He dropped it away. What happened in 17? I said 1,000 times, Bill is the greatest defensive coordinator of all time, him and Buddy. I'll say this to you, Daz. If I had to put, dude, Vic is really, he's earned a lot with me. I think Vic Fangio, there's a lot of people that copy what he does. Okay? Sills, in your opinion, if the Eagles were to pick up a current Bill Belichick as our coach, do you think he could get this team to the Super Bowl? Great question. Bill would have to be in charge of personnel. And the Eagles aren't going to do that. That's why Belichick doesn't fit. Now, if Bill would do this, now, depending, I know this. I know Howie has great respect for Bill Belichick. So if those guys could work together, probably. But Bill Belichick is still a great coach. Like, could he walk into Philly like you're asking? And could he win the Super Bowl? With that defense, the question would be, could Vic and Belichick work together? Bill plays man, though. Bill's a man defender. And Vic is more of a zone guy. So that would be completely different. Your defense would look different. And you really have to have great corners, like lockdown, true, bona fide man cover corners. You don't have man cover corners in Philadelphia. Those aren't man cover corners. Belichick for head coach, Brady for OC. Yeah, I think Brady's got $375 million. And I think, he's got a ton of dough. Okay? He's got a ton of dough where he's just, I think he's pretty good. Yeah. Congratulations. I'm glad for him, by the way. Miami is a soft city. He doesn't have to worry about criticism. They don't really give a shit about the Dolphins down there. They don't really care. So if the offense stinks, they're not going to go sideways. Sports talk radio is not a thing down there. The media is weak. It's not a great sports city. Now, when things are going great, it's a front runner city. But it's not a great city when it comes to sports. Okay? Just like Dick needed Buddy Ryan and vice versa. Well, here, ask yourself this, Daz. Did Bill Parcells ever win a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick as his D coordinator? Did he? Did he ever win a Super Bowl? You say this about Brady and Belichick. Did Parcells ever win a Super Bowl without Bill as the D coordinator in New York? The answer is no. I mean, he never won one without him. And actually, when Belichick got fired in Cleveland, they hired him as an assistant head football coach for that Patriots team that got there with Bledsoe and with Parcells. They initially put him on the coaching staff. Parcells quit too soon. Everywhere he went. I think that's probably a good thing. Like Jimmy Johnson never lasted more than 5 years. At any stop. Jimmy didn't like staying places long. If you look at Coach Johnson's resume, Coach Johnson didn't stay in places longer than 5 years. Dallas, Miami, University of Miami, Oklahoma State, the Miami Dolphins. He never stayed past 5 years. Bobo's gone. Hallelujah. Nick, you're next, bum. Dude, man, I'm happy for Petula to get a job. Hey, if that offense goes, I don't know who the quarterback's going to be in Miami. Because they've already made it clear they're going to move off of Tagovailoa. Didn't Jimmy Johnson recruit Thurman Thomas? He sure did. Thurman Thomas and also Leslie O'Neal played on those teams. And if I'm not mistaken, I forget the guy's name. it was Pat something that took over for Jimmy that was on his coaching staff at Oklahoma State. They were recruiting Barry Sanders too. So Jimmy was recruiting Barry Sanders for Oklahoma State. So I forget who he had. But yeah, and it was Leslie O'Neal. And he had Leslie O'Neal and Thurman Thomas he brought into Stillwater. And when he got that coaching job, I think Jimmy was at Pitt when he got that coaching job at Oklahoma State. I swear people must be dumb. If Nick gets canned, that means we had a bad year and the quarterback follows. Yeah, listen, Twiz, I don't believe it's going to go. I just don't believe that the offense is going to work. I believe you're getting away completely from the quarterback skill. This is more an indictment on what they're doing, not on him. I think if you coach Jalen the way you did in 22, which, hey, let me ask you this. You think if Jalen Hurts goes to Indianapolis, you think that team becomes a Super Bowl contender? I do. That shows you what I think of him. If Jalen Hurts goes to Indianapolis, do you think the Colts become a Super Bowl contender? Yes or no? With that team that they have, it's a pretty good football team. That team's got a really good roster. Do you think if he goes there with Shane and Shane utilizes him, okay? Passing game was bottom last year. Hurts has the perfect mindset. I'll give him that. Yeah. Okay, this is a great, yes, Twiz. This kind of goes down to what you're saying here, okay? If he's not willing to run, then probably right. Okay? You're probably right there. Love the story about LT coming late to the meetings and Belichick telling Parcells. It's a true story. I know 3 guys that were in the room when it happened. Here's another one for you too, Daz. So Lawrence Taylor was sleeping in one of the meetings, okay? Fell asleep. And he said, will someone wake him up, please? So Lawrence Taylor gets woken up. He goes, did you hear what I said? He goes, do you want me to tell you what you're thinking? And Belichick goes, please. He got up there on the board, wrote down every single responsibility for every player on the defense, what their assignments were, what their responsibilities were, put it all down, threw the truck down, and said, is that what you're talking about? And Belichick looked at him and said, yes. And LT went back to sleep. It's a true story. He got up. He was sleeping because he was out, obviously, the night before. And LT, did you hear what I said? They were installing things for the Washington Redskin game. And they were installing this shit. And Lawrence Taylor got woken up. And he went up there, left defensive tackle, nose guard, Jim Burt. He went over to Leonard Marshall, did all Leonard Marshall, Carl Banks, Gary Reasons. Went over to Harry Carson, did Harry Carson's, did his responsibility, did the secondary guys, all of them, responsibilities, techniques, threw the chalk down, sat down and said, is that what you're talking about? That's who Lawrence Taylor was. Don't kid yourself. LT was a smart football man. Saying he may have had a lot of shit in his life, but Lawrence Taylor, dude, was insane. Shane Steichen adapts to the skill set. Yeah. And see, here I'm not getting it. I don't understand it actually in what they're doing. Sills, are NFL injuries mostly bad luck, or is it literally based on players' DNA build? I think it's both. You always say not everyone is built the same for the NFL. Just curious. Yeah. Some of it's luck. Some of it's not luck. No question. All right. I'll tell you what. I do this great show on weekends with Sports Grid, and it's gotten out to a great start, and we appreciate it. And every time I get Adam Kaplan on, I don't have enough time to talk to him. He and I are in the breaks and we're talking and we're doing because it's short form interviews. So we're going to do a little conversation here with Adam Kaplan. We're going to bring him in here now, our NFL insider now, and we appreciate him coming aboard. I know, my friend, are you freezing your baguettes off right now?
What's that?
Are you freezing your baguettes off right now?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Well, no, actually, you know what's funny? Today it was actually low 40s, which is like, 80s at this point, to me, because this is the coldest winter of my lifetime. We don't like. You grew up in Jersey, did you? Oh no, Connecticut. You told me, right?
Connecticut, yeah.
But, right. We don't get snow like we used to. We had one like half a foot in January. That's it. But it's just been cold. But I flew back from Super Bowl week on Saturday, and the wind was 20 minutes before I landed in Philly. It was the wind was. This is also the windiest I've ever seen in my lifetime. But that's the weather these days. But anyway, we went to talk football.
How about this? Let's go here. I mean.
Yeah.
So what'd you take away with Super Bowl 60 in your opinion? I mean,
look, I did pick Seattle to win, but I shouldn't have on Sports Grid though. I got 4 out of my 5 prop numbers correct. I stupidly, Kevin Walsh, the host of Game Time Decisions, is my guy. He goes, listen, dude, it's okay if you want to change your pick from Seattle -4.5 to New England. We'll give you that chance on Sunday because we're going to do the pregame show. So I come on, I go, you know what? Going back and forth with this. I really feel like New England. It's just how prophetic this would turn out to be. They're going to handle their pass rush problems a lot better than they had been. Wrong. Such an idiot. I did so well. I pretty much I had the first half under 21.5. Got nailed that. 4 out of 5 props. But why the hell did I change my pick? So I beat myself up I was so mad because I pride myself on never changing it. If I just go with what I believe based on the information I gather. And then I overthought it. So for sports bettors out there, don't change your mind. If you felt like that the whole week, don't be an idiot like me. But that's my so I admit when I'm wrong. I said that was stupid. Anyway, you asked.
Adam, how about this here? Do you agree? I asked Armando Salguero. I also asked.
Yeah, I saw Mondo. Yeah.
Let me throw this at you here. Am I right when I say this? I'm not impressed with that Seattle team. I mean,
they're good. No, they're good.
They're
Why
good
don't
on
you?
Defense, but are you impressed with them as a unit?
Well, here's the thing: the Legion Boom team was so much more talented, but the execution, the scheme by Mike McDonald, the head coach who calls the defense, is just phenomenal. Look, as a football player, look, when you get buy-in, sometimes you could play a little bit better than maybe you really are talented. They play better than I expected this season. They were one of my. Some people tease me about this, but they were one of my breakout teams. Well, they didn't make they had a winning record the year before, but I thought they'd go a long way, which they did. Though I didn't pick them to win the Super Bowl before the season started. I did like them a lot. But what I didn't know is that if you just looked at their pass rush player, like Derek Hall, Tank Lawrence, who still has something left in the tank despite all the injuries. If you go through their pass rush group, you go, okay, it's a nice group, nothing special. Jaron Reed, who's ageless, their defensive tackle, who is he's been there for a while, then left and came back. They just get it done, man. The value of coaching, man. When you get buy-in, I kind of underestimated that, I think, a little bit. And I do just want to say one thing. I'm going to stick up for New England. They deserve to be there. Despite, I know you look at how they got smoked, they got embarrassed. It was a bad game. They just didn't show up. Though defensively against the pass, they held themselves in it. They had a bad game overall. They just had a bad game. But you don't get there by luck.
Yeah.
You just don't. And I a lot of the national pundits, so to speak, I like that. I just love using that. They don't want to give anybody respect. That's fine. That's fine. But I look at it differently, covering this business 27 years. You don't get there by snapping your fingers.
That's right. There's nothing lucky about this. It's about putting the work in, and I completely agree with you. I've got to get to Philly. I never get enough of you on Saturday or Sundays here. Let me ask you, do you believe that Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback in this league?
No, but he's a good quarterback. So you have to evaluate, okay, what does elite mean? Okay, I've been, my job is, I love football, but I'm not a fan of the Eagles. I don't care who wins or loses. I'm a reporter who puts on my analyst hat occasionally, to analyze situations. To take your question, Dan, at face value, he's a good quarterback. I mean, he's a winning quarterback. Now, what does that mean? shows up in the big moments. Unbelievable mental toughness. If you realize how much the Eagles were trying to trade for Deshaun Watson 22, and he was aware of it, wasn't a secret to him, and to come back prior to the in the 22 offseason, right? And to come back and have a great season as he did, I mean, that his predecessor, if you remember, Dan, won it out. Carson Wentz, he couldn't take that. The Eagles drafted Hurts. When he just signed an extension 10 months before that, why would he care? Do you think Kurt Warner cared when they drafted Matt Leinart in the first round of the Cardinals? He's like, fine, you can do whatever you want, but I'm still going to win this job. And he did it, and he put the team on his back to the Super Bowl. Come on, man. It's ridiculous.
What happened with Jeff Stoutland and I'll tell you this, one of the biggest conversations going on in Philadelphia is, I heard this, and you correct me, please, because you know more about. I heard that when they came in and they were restructuring the coaching staff, which, by the way, they've almost completely revamped.
Yes.
That when Stoutland was told that he wasn't going to be the run game coordinator.
That's definitely true.
You said this to me.
Yeah.
And you know what? According to Frank Wright, you're dead on. That Jeff Stoutland got up because he is an emotional guy, and that was the end of it. And he was just really an emotional moment. And it really became a conflict between him and Nick. Is that what happened?
Here, Dan, my understanding was like 2 weeks ago now that they were working towards something. And then he just decided he didn't want to do it, whatever that was. He knew he wasn't come back as a run game coordinator. They removed it, I was told, in October, the title. I know there's a report from the Inquirer saying like he wasn't told why he was being removed. I'm not saying that's wrong or right. I just find it hard to believe with a guy like this, and you're going to do this in season, you're not going to tell him why. Stunning me if that's the truth. But I just believe that they felt like they were working towards something, and then he just decided to not do it. But my partner in Inside the Birds, Jeff Mosher, had a really good nugget on Monday morning. He said they're working towards a settlement for the season because he was still under contract, and he won't coach this season. That was Jeff's report on our show Inside the Birds, which you get on any podcasting platform, that basically they're working on a settlement on his contract. He won't coach this season, and he might work on the Stoutland University stuff, the sweatshirts, and could be tutorial, whatever the case may be. But it's just covering this team going back to early 2000s. This is one of the strangest coaching departures I could remember. Folks watching this could give me some other stuff that they remember the craziness of the coaching stuff with the Eagles. But this is the Juan Castillo one was bizarre to me when Andy moved from offensive line to defensive coordinator. That was bizarre. I remember talking to Andy privately about that when he explained it to me. It made sense at the time. Oops, didn't work. But this one to me, this could be like a 30 for 30 short.
Huh.
Like, this is just not normal. Look, I know.
Did they push him out?
No, I don't know. No, I've been yelled at by the Eagles over the years, for putting stuff out there where they think I'm way out of line. They won't tell me I'm wrong, but they said you shouldn't say it that way. I'm back them on this. I know they were working on whatever, and he just put a statement. I don't know, man. I'm completely to answer your question. I'm puzzled by this one. Now the question will be, after this year, is he going to come back and coach? He won't be coaching here in terms of we're going to assume. What they've got going on is going to work, and they're not going to go back to him. Plus, they're running a completely different offense than he's used to, and schematically, it's going to change. I just wonder if he'll coach. It's not like he's 70. He as you know, Dan, these coaches,
he's 60.
Right? That's really not all. And for goodness sake, I mean, Belichick's 74.
Yeah,
Carroll's around that or older.
Yeah.
And if he didn't do, it didn't work out for him, but it's not like he can't coach anymore. But anyway, it's just to move this along here. It's one of the strangest and bizarre situations I could remember. Just if you take everything into account.
So they worked on a settlement for him not to coach.
Yeah, that's what Jeff said. Yeah, on our show. Yeah.
Okay, for
on
him
his contract. Yeah.
Okay, so did they offer him an opportunity to come back?
I see. Jeff did not say exactly. I had heard they were working on something for him if he wanted to come back. But as you mentioned, and I know for a fact it would not be his run game coordinator, because schematically what he does is not what they want to do going forward. And then now would he be offensive line coach? Like the Eagles love throwing around these titles for the personnel people and coaches because they Jeffrey Lurie's money, they are so generous with their contracts and paying people, talking to coaches and front office executives for over 20 years with this club. But I don't know exactly what title he would have had, but it doesn't matter now because it's, Jeff had that story for us on Inside the Birds on Monday morning that they're working towards settlement, so he won't coach this season. But I just wonder what he'll do in 2027. We'll see. Don't know.
So you mentioned it. I mean, you changed the run game coordinator, the offensive line coach, pass game coordinator. You bring in Josh Grizzard.
Yeah.
You've got the only people I think you have left in the building are the cornerback coach and the wide receiver coach. So they want to go
to Scott Leffler was let go, I was told.
Well, yeah. Oh, he's been let go. Okay.
That was he was let go. Now Patullo, I was told.
He just got a job. He just got a job today, a couple minutes ago with the Dolphins.
Yeah. Who are we talking about? Patullo?
Patullo.
Yeah. But what I was told with Patullo was he could come back, but have no involvement with the offense. He would be Nick's sort of right-hand man in terms of senior staff member to help him with organization. Because that's really, here's a little nugget for you. When he was the pass game coordinator, 25% of his job was sort of taking some responsibilities that Nick didn't have time to. It might be communication with some people in the building, whatever the case may be, but it was not related to his daily job. And I'll be honest with you, moving this forward, Nick's got to find a senior offensive assistant. They need to help this young staff. Like I'm all about being young. They're going to be young staff, save a couple older guys. They're generally going to be very young. And almost all the staff has been flipped over. Leffler's gone, who's late 40s, early 50s. I'm just trying to think. With Stout out, who is, you said 63.
Right, they got
Vic is 66, 67?
67.
Okay, that's it, really, of the older guys. We're talking about guys well over 50. So change is good. And being here most of my life, fans are impatient, but you're going to have to be because this thing's going to look really different.
Do you agree that this is the last year for Vic Fangio? He's been kicking the can around about.
I know. I would say this. It depends how it goes. Is he enjoying himself? Because I know when Jim Schwartz, I'll give you an example. Jim Schwartz, the 2020 season, the Eagles were terrible. This is the year that Doug Peterson got fired. Okay. They were really bad. We had heard on Inside the Birds, Jim was not happy. It's when you're a veteran coach and you see things go down the tube, it had nothing to do with him. He did a great job. But you saw what happened with him in Cleveland. And he thought he was getting a head coaching job. Yeah, Jim took the year off. He had a couple minor health things to take care of. And he did. He came back. He consulted for the Titans and he went to the Browns. But the bottom line is, man, when you're an older coach and you've seen it all, when you don't like what's going on around you, or you do, but it could be better, you have to make a decision. So I don't do percentages on anything because I've learned my lesson. It's foolish to do that. But I would tell you this, it depends how he feels. How physically, I know he's talked about his girlfriend before. He's talked about having someone else in his life. And, when, as you know, you and I are similar age here. So you get through life, you decide what's important to you. But these guys, all they know is football. It's like, I'll give an example before we move on. So in my reporting on Andy Reid, okay, after he got fired, right, after the 2012 season, there were rumors that he might retire. And I was told this is such nonsense. He's not retiring. Football's all he knows. There's no chance he's retiring. And he got a lot of love from a bunch of teams. And it was really Kansas City who won him over. That was a great decision. This is all these guys know.
Yeah.
What else are they going to do? Does he even play golf?
No, you don't play golf when you're
pickleball. I don't know.
Right. I mean, Adam, this organization. I mean, do you think they micromanage? A couple more questions here for you.
Sure.
Do you believe they micromanage? I mean, it just seems that everything comes through the front office and that there's not empowerment. When I look at a guy like Robert Kraft empowers his guys. They've been to the Super Bowl 11 times. Do your job. Go do your job. You hire a coach. Mike Vrabel's in charge. Vrabel brings in Josh. It doesn't seem to be that way in Philly. There seems to be a lot more steps, and it seems to be a lot more like speed bumps. that you have to navigate through to go through being a coach in Philly.
All right. So on your question and on your point, there's some truth to it, but let me explain. When the offense looks bad, the owner's going to get involved. Why is that? Jeffrey wants a world-class offense. I've talked to numerous coaches who work for the Eagles over 20 years, okay? He wants it to be special, and he's demanding. But as one former coach on Jeffrey's staff, Jeffrey's staff, Nick's staff. I was actually not Nick's staff. The staff over the last 20 years told me. And he'd been there for a number of years. He goes, I'll sign up for that any day. When you put demands, when you know you want it to look a certain way, and that coming to the building, that your shelf life won't be what you want it to be if it doesn't look right, you'll sign up for that any day. Your family's treated great. You pay him well, but Jeffrey's going to get involved when he's not happy. Like he's going to sit in. He sat in with these coordinator meetings with his son, Julian. Julian's going to take over the team someday. Julian's very, very involved with the money situation.
So the hiring of the coordinators, you think Julian was involved in that too?
He sits in. He's an executive. He's on the football side. He's actually on both football, data analytics, cash spend, and non-football and football operations. He's got a hand in it. It's fine. It's hard to argue with their success, but Jeffrey, I've just heard it. Jeffrey's going to be involved when he thinks he needs to be involved. And it's just, but only time I have a problem with it is when he claims he's not involved, but yet he might give his opinion. But you're the owner. You should not be giving your opinion. I get it. You own the business, but you're not a football guy. I know he loves football. He's one of the smartest football owners. There are not a lot of them, Dan.
That's right.
Okay. He loves football. I just, Jeffrey's really good. He's arguably the NFL's best owner. We could stack them up in down the road someday. But to move this along here, there are times where I'd say, you know what, maybe you should back off. But I can't argue with the success, and that's the point.
Final question for you, AJ Brown. What do you do with him?
Most trades go down. They're not. I put out in 2010 that the Eagles were shopping McNabb at the Senior Bowl. They were actually trying to take the barometer. Howie doesn't really go to the Senior Bowl much anymore. I know it's been a number of years. He may have gone this year. I didn't go because I got snowed out for the first time in 24 years. But I just know the way clubs do this. When they want to take the barometer, you get the barometer at the combine. Eagles, when they got AJ, Howie talked to John Robinson at the combine that year in 22. John told them that he's not available right now. But if we feel like we need to revisit with you, we will. And they did. And Howie got him. Howie's relentless. Talking to other general managers. When he wants something done, he gets it done. But, I know AJ did that Michael Parsons interview. My issue, Dan, let's go inside football for 30 seconds. The issue for Hurts is playing on time, and AJ wants the ball on time. Football. You've lived it, you've breathed it, you played it. Offense. I know you're a defensive guy, but offense. AJ's a pretty smart guy. I talked to the Titans coaches at the trade. I want to know what the Eagles were inheriting. He's very emotional. He's a wonderful guy, very connective, cares deeply, but he's emotional. And, I know there were reports by one of the outlets here about he was asking to be traded, 24 or something like that. I'm not doubting that at all because I know he was super pissed off in 24. I mean, just watch his interviews in 24. I mean, he wasn't happy.
He's aggravated with the quarterback because the quarterback doesn't play on time.
Just go to his interviews. He wants that. I'll tell you what. Maybe I was the only one who got it. I think
you're dead on with this.
No, when he said, "You're use me, but really use me," that means don't make it so random. I want the ball when I want it. It all could sound good, Dan, to move this along. The West Coast offense, Sean Mannion's really smart. That's great. But can your quarterback get A, buy in, and B, get rid of the damn ball on time? It's the West Coast. This is whether it's going to be mostly McVay, some Shanahan, or whatever. It's a West Coast offense. It's a timing-based offense. There's no argument. No one knows what's going on, disagrees with me. The ball's got to come out, and it's got to be consistent. It can't be random when it comes out quickly. And that to me is what they fight. If they don't trade AJ Brown, okay, if it sounds great in the offseason, let's get to the regular season. Hurts has never been a consistent on-time quarterback with football.
No,
Just
ever.
has never been. Not arguable. The tape shows it. It's not even worth discussing.
No,
It's a
it's
fact.
not. I mean, and again, that's why the West Coast stuff here, Adam, it just doesn't make sense. It's more, Shane Steichen is the guy that was really the developer of the guy. He was a weapon in 22, but they've gotten seemingly further away from that.
Well, one thing before I get out of here is that you have to understand Steichen. The way it was explained to me more than once was he saw that it wasn't working, because when Nick, for some stupid reason, Sirianni thought, I know he was with him in 21 in the offseason. He was also calling plays then. He skipped steps. They wanted to be super aggressive throwing the football early and a lot, and Hurts couldn't handle it. So Steichen, over time, they became more of a run offense. And then 22, the league had no idea how to adjust to Hurts and AJ with a deep ball. And once they did, the next year, it's been downhill ever since. Randomly, like occasionally, like the Steeler game 2 years ago, Hurts was incredible. The Brazil game, start the 24 game, Hurts was incredible. It's just he can't do it consistently, Dan. It's just it's tough. It's tough to watch it, to be honest. When it looks bad, man, it's bad.
It is, man. I'll say that to you. Adam, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. And by the way, I really love our new friendship, man. It's really awesome.
I hope we talk on Sports Grid X this weekend. I said, hey, if you want me this weekend, we could do it.
I do. Oh my God. I told him. You know what I told him too? I go like this. I can't get enough of the guy because it's short form interviews.
Yeah.
Adam, have a great time tonight.
You too, man. Be well. You got it, man. You got it. Be well. See you.
You got it. That is Adam Kaplan. So we got some nuggets. So Jeff Stoutland, they gave him a settlement. That's new. Okay. All right. Hurts is tough to watch. Okay. Glorious challenging Hurts. No more coddling. What'd you make of what Adam Kaplan just said? Dude, I tell you this. He's not the easiest guy from what I hear. I love the guy. And he just, I told you, he requested to be on I guess these analyst guys that they have at Sports Grid, every single one of them is requesting to talk to me on Saturday and Sunday. And I told Xander prior to the show, all these guys want to come on this show now because it's long form. And I was like, yeah, you guys, so I'm going to put a bunch of these guys on that we have on the program, on weekends. Not everybody. Okay, not everybody, but we'll put the really good ones on. And Adam's one of the really good ones. Let me guess, Chet. Adam Kaplan knows nothing about Hurts, is right. Hey, I didn't say any of that. That's the first time we've ever had Adam Kaplan on, too. Okay? So, Sills, do you think the Dolphins are cooked now with the Petula news? No, he's not the OC. He's a coach, pass game guy. I don't know. Marshall adding another person to the hit list. Come on, Twiz. What's up? It's just hard to watch. Damn, Marsh. Adam Kaplan now covers the Eagles too. Says that Hurts is hard to watch. That ain't even Big Sills. I don't. What's going on here? What the hell happened just now? Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. Oh my God. Hurts is going to dunk on his haters this year. Yeah, right. With that spread offense of his, right? And Reyes. Him being able to spread it around like Joe Montana. Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I can't. Oh, my God. I can't wait to watch this. But, hey, I'll tell you what. There'll be a lot of leaving the pocket. Oh, hey, here's the over-under number. I got one for you guys. Over under 42 sacks or 15 picks. Or both. 40 sacks and 15 plus picks. I'm going over. Man, Sills. Hey, I didn't say any of this stuff. Okay? You're about to see run and shoot with Hurts. That would be a good offense for him. Wildcat. Run that old school Wildcat. Who was the Mouse Davis? That was the guy. Mouse Davis ran the Wildcat. That'd be good for Jalen, running that Wildcat. I don't see much changing. I bet it's still Nick's playbook. You got 23 picks? They'll never let him get to 23. They'll bench his ass before that. I've said it, Warren Moon, run and shoot. Yeah, Warren Moon was a great passer. Hurts ain't. Triple threat. Won't run, can't throw inside the numbers, can't read defenses. And you want him to play West Coast. This is what we brought up today on the program. I mean, look, that's Adam Kaplan, who's like an plugged-in guy with the Eagles. He's saying that shit. Dude, that stuff with Stoutland is wild in how this happened. So Jeff Stoutland, they gave him a settlement. They gave the guy a settlement not to coach. Okay. Wow. Gave him a settlement not to coach. All right. Hey, our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America. For a reason, they win. There is no firm like Morgan & Morgan, family-owned and family-run. Folks, told you about the family in PA. Initially offered $650K in the settlement. They ended up getting nearly $30 million in settlement. Some of the best people you could possibly know, and family-run and family-owned. Do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason the Karate Master was the #1 salesman in the lumber department.
Karate.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFC selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
You should have seen this. I told Xander I wanted to put a camera up. He goes, be a nightmare for you. Yeah, real quick here. Funny how AJ got the ball on time when Shane was around, aka a real coach. But go ahead, Kaplan. There'll be no hurt slander. Unsubbed. Thank you, Marsh. You're a dude, man. I'll tell you that. All right, guys. I appreciate you very much. Thank you again. 2 to 6 tomorrow. And we shall see you on the flip side.